30 minutes of football. 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 30 minutes of football.
Welcome everyone to 30 Minutes of Football with me and Daniken. Daniken, how are you, brother?
I'm good, man. How you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling good. Are you all moved in? I know you were moving last week.
Yeah. Slowly but surely, man. It's all getting, you know how that is, man. It's a long process, you know.
Oh my God, it can take weeks, sometimes months, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I hate it.
Hopefully,
I hate it.
Yeah, but you nice place you're moving into there.
Yeah, not bad at all, man. It's a good situation, good home, good everything. So I'm looking forward to it.
Congratulations, man. That sounds good.
Appreciate it.
All right, this is our 30-minute segment before the official start of Bear Their Souls. This gives Daniken and I an opportunity to talk about 5 points that he'd like to make about the Chicago Bears. And we're going to start with this one, which is the foundation is there, but the margin for errors, I apologize for the misspelling there, the margin for errors is thin. Take it away, brother.
Yeah, what I mean by that is that you can clearly see that the Bears have a strong foundation on what they're trying to do. Setting things up and getting things squared away. When it comes to their offense, their defense, you can see the vision. You can see what they're planning, what they're trying to do. But at the same time, you look at it and it's like the margin for error at this point in time is very, very minute. It's small. They cannot, and that's the problem that they've been having throughout the entire year, is they're making these mental errors and these mistakes and things. And sometimes they can't overcome it. Sometimes they can, right? They were very, very close to overcoming some of the errors and mistakes and mishaps that they had last week, but you just couldn't do it. They couldn't overcome that. So that margin is so small, it's minute right now because you just don't have. I don't think they have the depth that they need to overcome some of those mistakes, and I don't think they have the experience. And we'll get into that, you know what I mean, in a couple of the other points that we have on the table tonight. So. Yeah, that margin is just very, very small, man. I know you've seen it, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I'd love to get your take and tell me you're going to get to it in another point if that's the case. But to give me like one example of one of those instances that was a mistake that you can use as an example here.
You can use some of the coaching decisions. There are mistakes that were made by Ben Johnson. I'll get into that as well. There are also some mistakes from Caleb Williams that we had. There were some mistakes by the wide receivers. Like, I'll give you an example. Perfect one. The Romo Dunze, when he dropped the end zone touchdown, that was a mistake. That's a mishap. That's a miscue. It's an error. And that was very, very difficult for the Bears to overcome because that was a turning point in the game. So when you have those types of mistakes, that's what I mean by it's just small. You cannot, we'll get it right back. We'll get it right back. No, you're not always going to get it right back. You're going to have a uphill battle, and the Bears basically had an uphill battle from that point in the game on. You know what I mean? They were battling back. So that's a mistake that you just can't have, especially in playoff football.
Yeah. That's a great example. Before we move on to your second point, I want to share with you a couple of thoughts that you got here. This from Joe Grizz. He wants to know, are you taking the piano with you to
Yeah, I'm thinking about it, man. I'm thinking about it. You know, the whole setup, fireplace, all of that type of stuff. Yeah.
Must happen. And then Vizsla says, boy, you're going from the Bears to the Cubs already?
Hey, man. We got to move forward. We got to move on, man. We got to press forward,
That's the secret to life is don't look behind, just go forward. All right. Point number 2 that you have is indeed Ben Johnson's decisions. So I take it this is going to be a negative.
Yeah, it's negative, and a lot of people get upset when I talk about Ben Johnson and some of the decision making. I mean, it seems like when it comes to Bears fans and the fan base and things like that, Ben Johnson's off limits, Caleb Williams off limits. But you know what? I got to call it how I see it, man. I got to call it and tell the truth about what I see.
Mhm.
So, when I look at Ben Johnson, yeah, I love the aggressive style that he has and how he wants to do certain things and put their pressure on people and kind of take their life. You know what I mean? I love that about him. I don't take that lightly. I really like that. And I understand that's why we hired him, because we needed some fresh blood. We needed somebody that was gonna, not be afraid of certain situations. So he's not afraid to put all the cards on the table and go for it.
Mhm.
But there's situations that you're going for it and you shouldn't be going for it. And I'm just being honest. This is playoff football. In the regular season, fine, whatever, go for it. But in the playoffs, put the freaking points on the board, man. You know what I mean? Like the Bears, if Rome Odunze makes that catch, and I said this when it happened, if he makes that catch and Ben Johnson kicks two of the field goals that he should have kicked instead of going for it on fourth down in those situations, the Bears are looking at a halftime 20-7. We lost the game 17-20. Think about that, people. Just put it in perspective. You know what I mean? The entire game is different if you go into halftime up 20-7. And they legitimately could have went into the halftime up 20-7. Now, okay, Rome drops the ball. That's not Ben Johnson's fault. I can't blame him for that, right? You still could have had a 16-7 lead, or even a 13-7 lead at the very minimum, right? So you're still in the situation where you're taking points off the board, and I understand going for it, but sometimes in playoff football, man, you gotta just put the points up there and continue to put points. You can't come away empty-handed getting into the red zone. Getting into the red zone in the playoffs is difficult to do in itself. To get there and come away with nothing, zero, that's just not a good look, man. You can't do it. Can't do it.
Yeah, I hear you. Now, Coach Johnson was thinking that the Rams were going to score a lot of points. His respect for Sean McVay, for Matt Stafford, Puka, and all the other weapons on that offense. And so his thinking was, we can't settle for field goals. We got to score touchdowns in order to keep up with them. What he didn't realize, which is actually, I'm going to give myself credit here, I predicted in last week's show that I thought that the defense was really going to step up, because the last two quarters they had against the Packers, that defense looked miraculous, and I thought that they would be able to carry that over. But Ben Johnson, I don't think he did, which is why he went for it. So given that type of thinking, can you excuse him a little bit for being aggressive and going for touchdowns other than field goals?
No, not on every single time. And the reason being is because, yeah, while you may have thought, okay, we have to go in here and we got to keep up with these guys, we got to keep pace with them. At the same time, you're in a one-score game pretty much the entire game. Yeah. There was no time where we were chasing or that far behind to where we were in desperation mode. And to me, sometimes you have to like you have to look at the game and say, okay, it's not going the way we thought it was going to go. We're not going to have to do this. We can adjust things, and we can, let's take the points here, and so on and so forth. And I'm not doing hindsight 2020, because everybody can say, yeah, the points were there, you could have had them. For all I know, Cairo Santos goes out there and misses the field goal. You never know. But at the same time, I just feel like there were opportunities to put points on the board, and we squandered those. We went away from that direction, to try to put points on the board in a different way. And to me, in playoffs, it's just hard to overcome when you don't succeed, when you don't, when you can't capitalize on it. It's hard to overcome those mistakes and those problems.
Yeah, I feel the same you do. I like the aggressiveness. I'm not adverse to going for it on fourth down, but there are certain situations where I become old school. Take the points, points, particularly when you have an offense that is in its infancy. You know,
Right.
it's if this offense was like the Kurt Warner Rams and Detroit Lions for the last 2 years and so forth, then I would feel much more comfortable of bypassing field goals for points. But this offense, with the exception of a couple of games, has not proven that they can score at will. And so I'm with you. This is what King Booker World says. He says, Coach Johnson looked like a first-year head coach in the playoffs, and Caleb looked like a first-timer in the playoffs. Now they have the experience, and now they have to climb again. I think that's well said.
That's well said. Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, let us go to point number 3, which is drops, mishaps, and mistakes. Oh, boy.
Yeah. Yeah, there was quite a few of those, right? So you got the drops. We talked about Romo Dunze making a drop. And some of the drops that we look at, in this game, there were contested catches. There were difficult catches. But at the same time, you're in game, 18, 19 of the season?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter at this point in time. You're a playoff team. You're fighting to go to this, NFC Championship game, to the ultimate goal is the Super Bowl, of course. There is no excuses. If you get your hands on the ball, try to catch the ball, squeeze the ball. And I understand it's cold. I understand all the weather and things like that. But at the same time, you just have to capitalize on the opportunities that you have in front of you. And there were several drops. DJ dropped a ball. Romo Dunze dropped a couple of balls. I mean, Colston Loveland, he had one hit his hands on the sideline. It went through his hands. Those are the things where, and it's a young team, of course, right? We have a young team, but that's the type of things that older players or older veteran squads, they capitalize on that. You know what I'm saying? Like these are opportunities that they take full advantage of. And the Bears weren't able to do that. So I call them miscues. I call them mishaps. I call them mistakes because that's what they were. You know what I mean? And it's a young team that's trying to grow, of course. But at the same time, you could see the difference between the veteran team. You could see the difference between the team that was full of rookies. You know what I mean? Basically, and first time guys. Even like my man said in the thing, Ben Johnson. I mean, he's still learning this situation too. He's a first time head coach. I mean, they've gotten so far in this season. It's great to see. But at the same time, some of the problems, some of the inexperience, it was exposed. It was exposed in a major way on Sunday.
Yeah. We're going to run some clips from today's press conference from Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles. And one of the things that Ben Johnson, and he's been really good and authentic about this, he talked about how he needs to improve his play calling. It's one of the factors that they're really going to work on during the offseason. And King Booker World, like you said it right. First year head coach still has the responsibility of calling plays. With the additional new responsibilities. I mean, imagine if he didn't have a Dennis Allen with him, which he could totally outsource all the defensive play calling to him. It would have been a lot tougher on him. So the other thing that he said, to your point, Daniken, is that one of the major things the Bears are going to work on when they get back to camp is catching the ball. He said, we had too many drops. And that was good to hear him say that.
Too many. I mean, you know what I mean? A lot of people, you can look at it and you can say, hey, the wide receivers let Caleb Williams down this game. You know what I mean? Because there were drops. They weren't like wide open drops, right? So if you look at it, StatCast and all these stat nerds that put together the drop passes, they're not going to consider them legitimate drops. But in the playoffs, these are drops because they hit your hands. You know what I mean? They hit your hands. So.
Absolutely. And anytime somebody brings up Caleb's low completion percentage, I feel like throwing up, because they're not taking into account the dropped passes, and they're not taking into account that Caleb was one of the top quarterbacks in the league in completing passes and throwing passes where the ball went over 20 yards in the air. Everybody's passing. Look at all the guys who have 70% passing completion. Those completions are because those are wide receiver screens.
Yeah.
You know?
Halfback dump offs, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
things like that.
I get into arguments with Mike North. He likes to defend Mitch Trubisky's completion percentage. I'm like, Mike, Mitch Trubisky was throwing to like me and you right here playing catch. You can't really account for that. It's bullshit stat. So anyway, what's the Beers and Brews saying here? Although when Caleb threw that pass to Komet to tie the game, I smacked my wife's booty so hard. I don't think I can get away with that, Beer and Brews. Congratulations, man. That's the way to go. All right, let's move on. Right there. I love it. Next point is Caleb Williams' turnovers were detrimental.
Yeah. Go ahead. Very detrimental. And this is another thing. Like I just call it how I see it, man. You know what I mean? And in the game, you cannot be in the playoffs and you can't throw the ball to the opposing team 3 times. You can't give them 3 opportunities to take the ball away from you and do whatever they want to with it, whether it's score, capitalize off of it, whatever. You just can't do that. Not in playoff football, right? So that's what I mean by they're detrimental. It's a learning phase for Caleb, right? We see that. But that's a big issue. And it's been an issue not just in this past game, but it was an issue in the previous game. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't, you know what I mean? Like I said, it's like Caleb's off limits, just leave him alone. Everything he does is perfect. No, I can't do that. You know what I mean? I just can't do that. I have to call it how I see it. And to me, there's some things that Caleb has to work on. And that is one of them is protecting the ball, especially in these types of situations. I want to read a stat off to you too, when it comes to what Caleb Williams did in the playoffs this year. Okay. 41 for 85. That's less than 50%, right? Completion percentage. I know you don't like that, but it is what it is. It has to be higher than 50%, bro. Sure. I don't care if you're throwing 50-yard passes every single time. It's got to be higher than 50%. 41 for 85 is in the 40s. That's not good. 402 yards. That's 201 yards passing per game, right? Because you had 2 games. He had 2 touchdowns and 5 interceptions in the playoffs.
Yeah, those 3
in 2 games.
Killers, yeah.
And a QBR of 51.6. So there's work that needs to be done by Caleb. There's nothing wrong with saying that. And I wish people would get off of this fence like, oh, you can't say anything about him, otherwise you hate his guts. No, that's not the case. You know what I mean? If I say I like apples, that doesn't mean I hate oranges. You know what I'm saying? It's not the case. I'm just saying, hey, we have to work on some of those things. And I'm sure Ben Johnson, just like you said, they're going to work on drops. They're going to get on jug machines or whatever. He's going to do something to help Caleb, facilitate that situation to get him into a better situation where he's making better decisions with the ball in crucial moments, like and that type of thing. And then, of course, to get that completion percentage up. Ben Johnson said it at the beginning of the year. He wanted it at 70%, right? And yeah, that's lofty expectations, right? For a second-year quarterback in the first year of a system, right? It's lofty expectations, but that lets you know where his mindset is. He believes that Caleb can get to that point, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't make that a goal. So if he believes it, if Ben believes it, I believe it as well. I believe Caleb will creep up there. Maybe he won't get to 70%, but 60, 65. Okay, cool. We're working with something. That's what I need to see done. And then in 2 playoff games, 5 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, it's just not good, man. That's not great. Now he has some moments, of course, right? We're gonna get to that too, I'm sure, in the course of this show. But that's difficult, man. That's not enough production as opposed to negative plays. You see what I'm saying? Those are negative plays compared to positive plays. You got to have more positive.
No, I'm in agreement with you. You gotta be candid about things. The promise and the potential is there, but the production still isn't there. And we know he can get better. By the way, it looks like we got breaking news here. Freddie Peralta just got traded to the Mets.
Oh, wow.
So the Brewers are moving on from one of their best pitchers, and that should help out the Cubs. So I knew that bring a smile to your face.
Love it.
All right, let's go on to where were we? Drops, mishaps, and mistakes. So we are at what did we learn from all this?
Yeah, what did we learn? You know,
Tell
you
me.
got to take it. You got to take it, right? There's never losses. There's always lessons to be had.
Mhm.
So this is a lesson, right, for the Bears. And sure enough, the Bears were ahead of schedule. Everybody knows that. You know what I mean? We were ahead of
Mhm.
schedule. We were rolling. There was so much good. The city was on fire. The fans were on fire. The players loved it. You know, you could see a change in the atmosphere, in the culture within the Chicago Bears locker room, which is great, right? But
Mhm.
what did we learn besides that stuff? Because we see that from the beginning, right? We saw that from it's a stark contrast to what we were dealing with Eberflus or even Matt Nagy, right? So it's a whole different ball game, and we love it. But what did we learn from this particular playoff game? And to me, it's very simple. The Bears are a young team. The Rams were a veteran team, and it showed. That's what I
Mhm.
learned. And
Mhm.
and you'd have to do nothing but look at the overtime, right? The Bears got it to overtime. Caleb Williams with the throw of the year, in my opinion,
Yeah.
running backwards, doing basically a fadeaway, like a Michael Jordan fadeaway jump shot, where he launches this thing 50 yards in the air, and Cole Kmet catches the ball in the end zone for the touchdown. Outstanding play. Um, so they get to overtime, but in overtime, and a lot of people were talking about, oh well, maybe Ben Johnson should have went for two. Man, you're at home. It's the playoffs. You get the tie. You haven't been converting on fourth down the whole game, really. So it's like,
Mhm.
okay, I think it was the right decision. And what makes me think it was the right decision is that the Bears immediately stopped them, and we got the ball. And then the Bears were starting to march down the field, right? And to me, this was the difference between the two teams. The Bears started to march, and I don't know if it was Ben Johnson with the play call or if it was Caleb, whoever, but the Bears got a little bit greedy. Instead of just taking what the defense was giving you, move the ball down the field, convert the first down, get the first down, and get into field goal range, and then do what you need to do. But no, the Bears, right short of field goal range, 10, 15 yards short of field goal range, they decide to take a deeper shot, and it turned out to be bad. You know what I mean? I don't know what was going on with DJ Moore. A lot of people said, he didn't run the route right, so on and so forth. I feel that I don't want to say, he was concussed or anything like that, but there was potential for a concussion there because he did go out of the game for concussion protocol for one moment, came back in the game, and right after he got back in the game, like 2 plays later, he fell down on his head again. Now, when he's running that route, if you look at him, he's looking all over the field. I thought he would look like he might be foggy. That's just my
Mhm.
opinion. I'm not a doctor, and of course, I don't have firsthand knowledge of it, but it didn't look right to me. It looked like he was maybe a little foggy, and then he was not available after the game. So that also lends evidence, you might say, because a lot of guys who are in concussion protocol, they don't meet with any of the media after the game. So I don't know. You take it for whatever you said, but the route was ran kind of vertical instead of being him flattening it out and coming back towards the ball, which was not a good situation, right? So I'm taking you through the synopsis of it. I know I'm long-winded here, but I'm trying to
No,
get
that's
to
fine.
my point. I'm trying to get to my point. But
Sure.
so you have that situation, the turnover happens, and then when the Rams go onto the field, look at what the Rams did as opposed to what the Bears did, right? Like I said, the Bears seem to get greedy on that one play. Now the Rams come onto the field, they start methodically moving down the field, same way the Bears were doing. Convert a first down, short pass, convert a first down, take what the defense gives you, get another first down, get another first down. Then they get in the field goal range where it's a chip shot field goal almost. What did the Rams do? They took 2 shots, one to each corner of the end zone, right? And you have a veteran quarterback who's going to throw the ball to the outside, where if it is incomplete, it's just incomplete. It can't be
Right.
picked outside or out of bounds. And he
Mhm.
took a shot right to the right side. He took a shot to the left side. And then those didn't convert. You bring on the field goal team, they kick the field goal, right? And
Mhm.
that's what the Bears should have did. I believe the Bears should have got another first down, maybe one, maybe two more first downs to make it a chip shot field goal, right? And then when you're in that situation when you're first and 10 or second and 8 and whatever, then you take those shots to the end zone, to the corners of the end zone where they can't be picked off, right? Instead of the middle of the field. And that was the difference between a veteran team somebody that's been there before and Sean McVay, somebody like Matthew Stafford who knows what he's doing. I'm not going to put the ball in harm's way. I'm going to put it where it needs to be, or my guy can catch the ball and nobody else.
Mhm.
That's what the Rams did on that drive and that possession. That's why they won the game, and that's why the Bears lost, because we got a little bit greedy, just a little bit greedy, and we did something that we probably shouldn't have done. We should have took what the defense was giving us, moved down methodically, got in position for a chip shot field goal, and won the game that way.
I agree with everything that you're saying, and one of the things that I noticed as I was watching the game live is we get to overtime, the tremendous pass to force overtime to Cole Kmet, and on the first possession that the Bears had, Caleb came into the huddle and he was smiling, and it was like he was gassed up because of that play, of that touchdown pass, and that he called out the play and he was still smiling, and they broke the huddle and he came to the line of scrimmage and he was still smiling. And so I was wondering why, and it hit me. I bet you he is thinking to himself, we got this, this,
let's do it.
And so that's why he came out too aggressive, as you said, as opposed to doing what would have been the right thing, which is what Stafford did. I think that's an excellent analysis on your part.
If you think about it, although, like, he already made the play of the game, you didn't have to do anything else. At this point in time, you could have went out there and did whatever. As long as you won the game, you're good. That throw will go down in history. You see what I'm saying? So.
Sure.
But you know what I mean? It's not all on him. Like I said, it's a little bit of Ben Johnson because he made the play call. You know what I mean? So the Bears got a little bit greedy, I think, and instead of just and that's the difference. Like I said, that's the difference between a young team, a young coach who haven't been there before, and the Rams. That's what I learned from this game, especially in overtime, that they were a veteran team with a veteran quarterback and a coach who has been there before, done it, and they just went out and executed what they should have done.
J2K is asking you, are you not worried about handcuffing Ben's creativity?
No, I don't think there's a handcuff to it, right? I think there's a delicate balance that needs to be had. You know what I mean? Creativity is creativity. You're going to have that in your play calling and everything, right? You don't only have to have creativity on fourth down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's not the only time that you get creative. You get creative throughout the entire game. The game plan is creative. What you plan on doing is creative. So no, I don't think we would handcuff his creativity at all. I think it would just be in certain moments, especially in playoff football. Take it easy, man. Take it easy on going for it on every single fourth down.
Yeah.
Take the point sometimes.
True Pilgrim says Ben is aggressive, and I don't want to change that. And you're not saying don't be aggressive. You're saying pick your moments. Is what I understand you're saying.
Yeah. I want him to be aggressive too, and I love it. I love the aggressive, like I said before, to have somebody out there that's not afraid of the moment. Not Justin Fields, but Caleb Williams, he's not afraid, right? Ben Johnson, he's not afraid. And it's taken on the identity. The team has taken on that same identity. None of them are afraid. They all think they're going to win. So that's the good thing about it. That's the aggressive mentality, and that's great. But just, certain moments, man, you got to take some points in the playoffs, man. That's all I'm saying.
I'm with you, man. And I've had it up to here with analytics saying, go for it. But analytics, that's a computer with no feelings, no pulse of the team, not thinking about, so many intangibles that you can't feed into a computer. So when analytics say go for it, I say fuck you. J2K says you make a totally fair argument. All right, so with that, we're going to turn our attention. We're going to turn the page to our Bear There Soulz segment, and it always starts with our 5-minute open. Here it comes.
We are the bearer of Bears News, the Ballroom Network.
They were special, and I said that at the end of the year. They believed that, and I'll forever be grateful for what they were able to do this season. but we're one of the 31 other teams that fell short. If anything, that just rejuvenates me and makes me want to push harder and longer than what we did this past season.
The following is rated TV MALSV. It contains strong language, violence, and nudity. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Timmy, your mother said to go to bed.
Let me hear you guys.
Excuse me, coming through.
There's a Chicago Bears podcast.
Follow me for a good time.
Unlike most others, a bunch of guys on the broadcast acting much like brothers. This is bare their souls, uncensored with no control. This is bare their souls, bare their souls. Let me hear you guys.
I'm really excited about seeing this city, this fan base come to life. These last two games, I'll never forget. Just the energy, the vibe, you could feel that. And it is a serious home field advantage that we're creating here in Chicago. That's something that we got to continue to build upon as we go forward. Talked to our guys a little bit on Monday, just in terms of where we are and how we're moving ahead. We go back to square one. It's back to the bottom again, and we got to build this thing back up. You know, Ryan and I have some really difficult decisions to make over the course of this offseason, but we're committed to bringing in competitive players, football players that are going to make us better time and time again. So, you know, the thing is, you can look at 2025 and you can say, hey, it's a great start. Well, the truth is, it was really hard to accomplish what we accomplished, and it wasn't good enough. And it's going to be that much harder to put ourselves in that position again next season.
This is bare their souls, bare their souls. With some likable let's go! Soulz!
Welcome indeed to Bear Their Souls. That is Johnny Santucci, upper right-hand corner, Steven Zimmerman, lower right-hand corner, and of course, Daniken and I are back. We're the lefties of the group. Tooch, how are you, my friend? Tooch.
Am I muted?
No, we couldn't hear you because you weren't talking. Why are you crying? What's going on there?
That's just my mood after Sunday.
Saying
goodbye to the Bears 2025 season.
Hell of a season, huh? Hell of a season.
I mean, either way you look at it, it was I mean, look, it was the most fun I've had in a long time in a Bears season. Might have been the most fun season of all time for me.
Yeah, I mean, you know, how old were you in '85, Tooch?
That was my senior year of high school. That was the pinnacle. 58. That's this year, Zim. Coming up this year, June. 58. Yeah. It was
so.
18.
So you were old enough to
17,
really
18.
enjoy that.
Yep, 17, 18.
Zim, was this your most fun year watching the Bears?
It's hard to say because, like, okay, so overall probably, but like that 06 year, that culminated in the Super Bowl, like that Super Bowl was on my 14th birthday. And so that whole year just felt so special to me. And like, I have very vivid memories because that's like probably my first true year of Bears fandom, like not just liking them because my dad liked them, but like actually liking them because I liked them. So to have that such a special year. And then, you know, the 2011 team, like that was when I was starting to make like my own friends and like my own way into the world a little bit. And then they lost or I guess it was 2010, 2011. I don't remember. But when they lost in the NFC Championship game to the Packers, you know, that was a really fun season because I got to rub all my friends' noses in it. And then the 2018 season, I got to go to a game. Like that was my first game at Soldier Field, my only game at Soldier Field. So, I mean, top 3, I would say easily top 3 season for me, but like it's more for sentimental reasons than for anything else because this season was such a great distraction from things that I don't really care for happening in my life. And it was so exciting to have something to follow week in and week out and to have something to look forward to every week.
Well, it looks like Brian Flores is staying with the Vikings. So
he is.
Unless he gets a head coaching job. He can still get a head coaching job and leave the Vikings. I sent that over in our group chat. Effectively, he is in Minnesota unless he gets a head coaching gig, though. The extension basically ties him there so that he cannot get a DC job anywhere else.
Daniken, this where does this season rank in terms of your favorite seasons?
Well, it's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites. I would say 2006 was fun. There was a couple of years of the Cutler and Brandon Marshall era that was fun too. And I have different reasons for it. Like I remember, what was it? I think it was 2005 maybe. I went to a game in Lambeau Field. It was the Bears versus the Packers.
Cool.
And you know, that was a fun season for me because I got to see Lovey, and a lot of people don't know this. Like when I went up there, I went to the game and you know, we won that game on Sunday night. It was a Sunday night football game. It wasn't cold though. It was really nice. It was early, like September, you know what I mean? Like, or late September, it might've been. But it was nice out, you know what I mean? And everything. But I remember leaving the following morning because I stayed in the hotel and I was leaving. I'm driving out and somehow Lovie Smith was on the radio in Green Bay. And he was saying, yeah, I love Green Bay. You know, it's like the Soldier Field of the North. And I just cracked up laughing. So it's like things like that made it fun for me in the Lovey era because he would talk his little bit of trash but he would do it in a way that, you know what I mean. It was funny. It was hilarious to me. So I love that, and of course we had the Super Bowl run too. So that's probably my favorite time. And then this might be one of them. I think 2018 was fun too, man. Even though I knew it was flawed, it was still fun just seeing it happen the way it happened in 2018. Club dub and all of that stuff. It was, you know what I mean? We changed it. And a lot of people bite off of what Chicago does all the time. You know what I mean? You can see it now that they're biting off of what we've accomplished this year. So, you know, it's always fun to see that happen. We set trends.
That 2018 club dub season, while fun and exciting, and I never really felt that Nagy and the Bears had built a strong foundation like Ben Johnson has this season. It was more like a house built on sand rather than, you know, concrete.
Good point.
But, you know, I mean, after that first season, I mean, the second, season, I was kind of tired of Nagy, you know, and I remember the barroom saying, what the heck, you're just getting rid of him now, you know? Same with Eberflus. Like, I wanted Eberflus gone after his first year. I just knew that they didn't have what it takes to bring the Bears to a Super Bowl. With Ben Johnson, I do have that feeling. I think he can get us into a Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's a different vibe. It's a completely different vibe than 2018, 2019.
Yep.
2019,
this is my second favorite season after the 85 season, because the 85 season, you just knew that the Bears, I mean, they were doing the Super Bowl shuffle in week 8, you know, so it was like, this is going to happen. And this season is my second favorite because of all the surprises, all those dramatic victories. In Cincinnati, we let them come back, and then we come back against them over and over and over again. This team just defied expectations, where it got to the point where, hey, they're losing in the fourth quarter. There's no fucking way I'm giving up on this team. There's no way. I don't care how many points they're down. Plus, on top of that, the culture change that Ben Johnson brought, the seriousness with which he was coaching, the entire staff that was built, all excellent coaches. I got a soundbite of him talking about this was an all-star staff. And so there was just so many good things to feel great about. You know, the defense underperformed, but there were injuries, and somebody posed a question earlier. Let me see. I think I got it here. Do you guys think that the defense is going to get better next season? Hell yeah. We're going to bring in more of Dennis Allen's guys. You know, we fixed the offense. Now it's about consistency and execution, like Daniken said it in the first part of the show. But now we need players on defense that fit Dennis Allen's scheme, and then away we go.
There were some players on offense that had a rough game. I mean, I would point out Drew Dahlman. I posted it.
Every receiver.
The drops of the receivers, guys not running the correct route or whatnot. But Drew, I mean, the reason we couldn't run up the middle in short yardage, Drew Dahlman was getting destroyed.
And it makes me wonder how much of that was because the guy next to him was changed. That affects centers a lot more.
Yeah, the line went. The injury shook up the line, but I mean, Joe Thuney played good at left tackle, and McFadden had some pancakes. Man, the dude played good, but I agree. The shakeup of the line definitely affected the team. The timing of the offense. It wasn't not everyone was on the same page. Let's just leave it there.
Yeah.
If you're a center and you pass somebody off, sometimes you got to pass guys off or whatever. And if the communication is not top notch, then it becomes pretty evident really quickly.
It almost makes me want to go back and look at more of the tape from the entire season, because one of the knocks on Dahlman coming into the Bears this season was that he's a little undersized. He's a little small. He's more of an agile type blocker, whereas Ben Johnson prefers a power blocker. And I kind of wonder, like, how much was he getting help from Thuney and Jackson throughout the season? How much, was this scheme versus ability? And not to say that he doesn't have great ability at the position. I mean, the three of you guys all picked him as your MVP of the team at one point this year. So
Oh, yeah.
Very clearly he has the ability. It's just it makes you appreciate different things, what Dan Rouchard was doing with these guys, what Ben Johnson was scheming up in the running game, and various things like that. And it really makes you realize what a complete effort this was. I feel like, with it getting exposed so greatly, it makes you realize what an anomaly that was. Whereas in years past, it was such a regular occurrence that we kind of forgot that it's possible to have an above average center,
Yeah. I hear you, man.
Yeah. I mean, overall, the season was a success for Dahlman, but this game wasn't his best game.
No,
Unfortunately.
It's so weird too that it comes against the Rams, a team that employed Aaron Donald for so many years. And it's like Donald's not there. Like, what do you have to worry about? And it's like
I know, yeah. It's like, why not?
Can afford a small nose tackle like Aaron Donald.
You think Coleman Shelton? You think Coleman Shelton outplayed Drew Dahlman?
Might have
smaller center too, Coleman Shelton.
At the same time, looking forward to the draft, it makes you appreciate like what position the Bears are in, what their needs are, and how those needs can directly affect their own weaknesses. How they can have iron sharpen iron through this offseason because their deficiencies on defense, like I just said, directly reflect their deficiencies on offense. You make one stronger and the other will get stronger alongside it.
Oh, we still like Drew Dahlman, JTK. He had a bad game. We're not going to shy away from talking about it,
Absolutely. And he was playing some good BT. So
Fisk and Turner also good,
But he does make a good point. Like how far we have come to complain about a really good center. Like we used to have to deal with Sam Mustipher, man. And now we get to look at this and be like, all right, like he had a bad game. How can we make him better? Like, how can we build on that? Like, how can this MVP caliber player for this team truly get better? And like, it's such a reframe we've had this season. And I think that's why you guys have all chosen this as a top season and myself as well. We're now viewing this team totally differently than we did 2-3 years ago. This is no longer the bad news Bears. This is no longer the, shit, who are they playing this week? It's like, I can't fucking wait for September. And it's not because I want to see the new players that they're going to get this offseason. I don't care who they get this offseason at this point. I can't wait for Bears football to be back already. It's been 3 days and I'm already like champing at the bit, man.
Well, they've got some great big offseason challenges. They need to free up cap space. So that means renegotiating contracts with veterans. It could mean trading some veterans or releasing some veterans. So there's a huge, I think this offseason is going to be one of the most fascinating in recent Bears history, just simply because there are some players that we like a lot who may not be on this team next season. So we'll get into that. But first, Tooch, you got a Bears State of Affairs for us?
Yeah, it wasn't an easy one to write, but
were you literally crying while you were writing this?
Last one of the season. No. That's all I could think about was that GIF, the meme of the crying man.
That's perfect. Yeah. All right, let's start it off this morning.
Gianni Santucci. It's time to hear from Gianni Santucci. Gianni Santucci. Gianni Santucci. The douche! The douche! Okay, douche. Time for Bears State of Affairs.
Never fucking give up. Never.
We can't at this point, huh?
I'm giving up.
It's over now, folks. Bears State of Affairs. 2025 NFL seasons end. What's happening, Barflies? Yeah. Oh, well, it's time to check in with the Bears. Find their divisional playoff game at home versus Matt Stafford. and the Los Angeles Rams. Yeah, how it's going didn't quite work out at the Winner's Circle, folks. Yeah, all good things come to an end. So it goes with the Bears 2025 season, arguably one of the funnest and most exciting Bears seasons of all time. So Aldo, with solemn reverence, we asked Grok for an AI summary of the game.
Oh, no. Oh!
No.
At least that Ram looks fucked up a little bit. Looking at that Ram.
It was a good battle. It was overtime. That was an overtime battle. Last Sunday, the Bears fell in battle to the Rams in the bitter cold, the biting wind and snow of frozen Soldiers Field. And as usual, the Bears gave us another thriller, this time falling in overtime 20-17. And despite the playoffs loss and the missed chance at a Super Bowl, this season was still fun and exciting. And if you were to ask Bears fans, they would tell you the season was good. It was better. It just fell short of best.
Well said. Well said.
The Bears had plenty of chances to win this one. Not too many miscues and mistakes ended up keeping the Bears from being their best. And best was what they needed to advance to the NFC Championship. And that's a shame because the Bears really did have some chances to win the game against the Rams.
Yeah!
There were plenty of mistakes to go around. Plenty of drops by the receivers, 3 turnovers, questionable play calling, and no takeaways by a defense that made its bones this season from taking the ball away. Yeah, on the game's opening drive, when the Bears drove down the field to the Rams' 23-yard line, and on 4th down with the score 0-0, Ben Johnson decided to go for it on 4th and 2 rather than kick a field goal.
Ay, Dios mío.
Heidi. Caleb Williams' 4th down pass was intercepted by Rams defensive back Kobe Durant, the first of 3 interceptions by Williams. Johnson's 4th down decision was a real head-scratcher for grizzled old Bears fans. Like the playoff game against the Packers, where Johnson went for it on 4th down 6 times, Johnson played the gambler again versus the Rams and went for it on 4th down 6 times again.
What?
Against the Packers, the Bears defense had a tough time stopping the Packers offense until they tightened up in the second half, so it was understandable that Johnson would take more risks on offense against the Packers. But against the Rams in the bitter cold, Johnson got a phenomenal game from Dennis Allen's defense, sacking Matt Stafford 4 times and holding the Rams to 5 of 16 on 3rd down, 340 yards of total offense and only 20 points.
Nice.
At that point in the game, only 2 minutes had elapsed in the first quarter. Hardly time for desperation, Aldo. But in his rookie season as Bears head coach, Ben Johnson proved ever the risk taker. We shouldn't be surprised, though. After all, this is the coach who was quoted as saying he would cut off his own nuts for a Super Bowl title. Perhaps as he grows into the head coaching position and grows wiser, he'll find the perfect balance of when to take the points and when to go for it. After that 4th down interception, the Rams, of course, marched down the field for a Kyron Williams touchdown and a 7-point lead. But the Bears would answer with a 20-play, 80-yard drive that saw Caleb Williams find DJ Moore in the back of the end zone for a 3-yard touchdown pass. Moore battled injury in the game and finished with 5 catches for 52 yards and a touchdown. With the score tied at 7, the Bears managed a field goal inside the 2-minute warning for a 10-7 lead. But the Bears would give up a Rams field goal as time expired in the first half for a 10-10 tie. It was a 1-minute drive for the Rams to get down into field goal range. The game stayed tied at 10 through the 3rd quarter until halfway through the 4th quarter when the Rams would score on another Kyron Williams touchdown run for a 17-10 lead. On the next drive, the Bears would drive all the way down to the Rams' 2-yard line, but again, they would turn it over on downs when Caleb Williams' 4th down pass to Luther Burden was broken up by Rams linebacker Omar Spates. On the Rams' following drive, down 17-10, the Bears would get the 3rd down stop they desperately needed. The Bears would again find themselves in a familiar position, Daniken, trailing in the 4th quarter, this time down 7 with 2 minutes left in regulation.
Never.
We all knew where the game was headed, man. Yeah, in fact, the Bears had conditioned Bears fans with 7 come-from-behind wins this season alone.
I love it.
Yeah, good for a Bears team record and earning them the nickname the Cardiac Bears. Yeah, down 7. Less than 2 minutes, it was Iceman time. And that's when Caleb Williams came through again with a game-tying touchdown on 4th and 4 from his own 14-yard line. Yeah, Caleb Williams he gave us another impossible touchdown throw to Cole.
Command in motion. Williams drifting, sprinting for space, in all kinds of trouble, put it up for grabs in the end zone. Command! He got it! For the touchdown! They've done it again!
Yeah, Caleb, the Iceman. He gave us highlight reel plays all season.
Mm-hmm.
And so many the Bears fans lost count. And this playoff game against the Rams is certainly no different. 4th and 4, Caleb made a legendary throw that was probably impossible even in a Madden video game. Yeah, scrambling backwards under heavy pressure from the Rams pass rush, Caleb lofted a pass from 26.5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Yeah, for reference, no quarterback has completed any pass of any distance from more than 22 yards behind the line of scrimmage since 2016. Williams' 14-yard game-tying touchdown to Komet traveled 51.2 yards in the air. And the longest completed pass by air distance in the red zone since 2016, again, when the next-gen stats era began. That unbelievable touchdown throw sent the game into overtime. The Bears, winning the coin toss, would elect to kick and then stop the Rams' first drive. But the Bears' first drive would stall at midfield, and Caleb Williams' 4th down pass would be intercepted by Rams defensive back Cameron Curl. Yeah, that gave the Rams a short field they needed, kicking a 42-yard field goal to win it. Yeah, said Ben Johnson after the game. Our guys fought for the most part, made it through that game, but disappointing result tonight. Our guys fought the entire way, just like they have all season long. I thought, this was very much like our team has been, and you've got to give the Rams credit. The weather, that certainly slowed down the Rams' offense. But you can't help thinking that the Bears beat themselves. The defense played good enough to win. The Rams weren't as great as everyone thought. If the Bears made a couple more plays on either side of the ball, they'd probably come away with the win.
Yep.
Perhaps the Bears' inability to settle for field goal opportunities or convert first downs running the ball killed their chances of advancing to play the Seahawks in the NFC Championship. And coming so close to a Super Bowl berth is disappointing, certainly. But no one really expected the Bears to make it this far anyways. The Chicago Bears exceeded expectations, and head coach Ben Johnson's first season with the team, they won the NFC North in their first playoff game since 2010 by beating their rival Green Bay Packers in the wild card round. Yeah, it's a success just on that. Yeah, it was 1 year ago yesterday that Ben Johnson agreed to become the Bears head coach. That seems like forever ago, but it's not because the Bears just went 11-6 and advanced further in the playoffs than they had in the last 15 years. It's because of the dysfunction that Johnson inherited. Dysfunction that forced the Bears to make their first in-season firing of a head coach in team history last season. And thankfully, that dysfunction has been replaced by a culture shift that extends beyond the field. No doubt a great bond between a coach and his players was built. Yeah, from good, better, best to fuck the Packers, Ben Johnson has built something sustainable. When asked if the Bears could build off of this season, curiously, Ben Johnson said, quote, "There is no building off of this. We're back to square one, back at the bottom again." That's Ben Johnson, always the master motivator. Yes, he's still learning how to be a head coach, but no one to a man would ever say the Bears don't have the right man for the job. And Caleb Williams, he's also still learning to be a quarterback in the modern NFL. Against the Rams, Williams finished with 257 yards and a touchdown, but his 3 interceptions certainly could have been mitigated by better decisions. He still has a propensity to try and force the big play throw rather than taking the check down. He could, for example, Aldo, throw to DeAndre Swift in the flat instead of a streaking Theo Benedict. Yeah. with Caleb set to enter the third season of his rookie contract, the Bears need to be thinking about going all in for a Super Bowl in the next 2 seasons. They need to be aggressive and add talent in the offseason if they want to maximize Williams' rookie contract deal. As the Bears head into the offseason and free agency, players, coaches, management, and fans, they all know this team will likely look quite different next season. That's Bears State of Affairs!
Yeah, baby!
Johnny Santucci, Bears State of Affairs. Johnny Santucci, the talent's all upstairs. Johnny Santucci, you ain't no pussy. Johnny Santucci, in fact you like coochie coochie. Johnny Santucci, I like the way you talk fast. Johnny Santucci, and you got a really nice tushy. Johnny Santucci, like your tooch.
All right. Hey, where'd Zim go? Fucker.
Yeah, Bears State of Affairs. He's not interested.
He's got the new hat on. I like it.
Oh, look at that.
Nah, Tooch said something that resonated too closely. I had to go change hats. In the wise words of DJ Moore, it's F Green Bay.
Yeah.
Always.
It's a nice hat from Tally Sports, is it?
Absolutely, it is. I kind of went on a shopping spree after the big win against Green Bay. Want to support a bunch of smaller brands out there, a bunch of guys who have done well to us over the years. And yeah, I don't know, man.
I need to give me one of those.
How do you get me so fired up and so bummed out all at the same time, Tooch, man? Like,
I know. I mean,
I stand by what I said before. I'm still like hyped up and ready to go into September. Like if I could just go to bed and wake up like September 1st and we're ready to play ball, like first of all, I'd be like, what the fuck? Second of all, I'd be like, this is awesome. I'm ready for more football. Like,
I mean, week after week, he gave us so many throws, Caleb, just one better after another. You think about the DJ touchdown pass in the end, second Packers game, the jump man throw.
That's Tom Brady's number one pass of the year. I don't know if you guys saw that today.
Was
Brady,
this
the
one
GOAT.
to Komet?
What's that?
The throw to Komet?
The throw to DJ Moore in overtime to win the game against the Packers is Tom Brady's number one throw of the year. I mean,
he had
dude
top
is
five. Is that what he had? He had his top 5 throws, or just
it was just generally his top throws of the season. I think it was a top 5 list, but if you're interested in watching the video, I just found it on YouTube. Tom Brady's got his own YouTube channel now. I think it's like Tom Brady on CBS Sports or something along those lines. But he breaks down all of his favorite throws of the season, some from guys you wouldn't really expect, some from guys you would absolutely expect, like Drake May. But
he had a couple of Caleb throws in there.
Caleb being the number one throw of the year in that iced out moment. I mean, and Caleb has fully embraced the Iceman mentality. Like, excuse me, if I could get some kind of Iceman hat to be, if I could get some kind of Iceman hat to also rock with all of it, like, I don't know what it's going to be. It's going to come sooner or later. We all know the Iceman gear is coming one of these days.
But I tell you what, would be pretty cool too.
The Jumpman would be sick.
Yeah.
Something that we can all look forward to next season. The Bears are getting the Nike Rivalries uniforms. We saw a few of those already this season, but the Bears are on the list to get one next season. Maybe we finally get those polar bear uniforms we've been looking for. Because I tell you, I don't know about you guys, but with them wearing blue on blue through the first 2 games, I was so hyped for them. Yeah, I was so hyped for them to go on the road to Seattle and wear white on white, because it was in the back of their head, man. They had it. It's so upsetting. So
yeah.
That's
all right,
holy tangent. Sorry, guys.
They should wear those white on whites almost every road game back in the day.
I want to touch on something that Tooch brought up, about going all in because Caleb is under the rookie contract. Well, unfortunately, and Danica and I talked about this briefly, is the team is in cap danger right now. They've only got 5, 6, 7 million. Why are you disagreeing, Zim?
Not at all. Not at all. Ryan Poles has so many levers that he can pull literally at arm's reach. And if he does so, there's about 5 levers he can pull. I've done a lot of research on this in the last few days. I love love cap stuff. Like as free agency comes near, you guys are
All
going
right, but don't tell us why you love it. Tell me why you feel.
At any rate,
what are these levers?
He's got a handful of levers he can pull that'll free up about $88 million in cap space.
That's
like no
bullshit.
Exaggeration.
That's
no
bullshit.
Exaggeration. He
That's
can rework.
I didn't get to 88 million. I know he can free up about 50 to 70 million.
Yeah, I was thinking
he can make
42,
3 deals
43.
tomorrow. He can make 3 deals tomorrow.
What are we talking about?
$32 million. Those
Specifics.
3 deals would be an extension for DeAndre Swift. It would be a conversion for DJ Moore. And it would be who's the third player? I'd have to go back through my tweets because I did all the math on this earlier. I'm sorry?
You could do Dahlman.
Dahlman's not a player that I had considered in all this, so he is another guy that they could use to free up that cap space. Here we go. Excuse me. The third one is, I believe it might actually be Cole Kmet.
Okay, so what you are advocating for is to do the same mistake that Ryan Poles did.
Not a mistake.
Is to create dead cap money.
No, it does not create dead cap money. What you would be doing
when you convert this stuff, this money, you owe it over a period of time, and so those players will be gone, and you're still paying on their contract. That's the dead cap. That's the mistake that Ryan Poles made.
But the way that all of these contracts are already structured, it's built into their contracts that he can convert these things without adding void years onto the contract, which is the mistake that Ryan Pace got into, right? We had to start adding void years onto the contract. You start paying players when they're no longer playing for you. You are paying players to play for another team. That is not what is built into these contracts. The way these contracts are built, they all expire roughly about the time that you have to pay Caleb Williams. And because of the way that they're structured, you can convert annual salary into signing bonuses without adding void years onto the contract, so that these conversions add to the current year's salary cap space. But because they're signing bonuses, they don't add void years to the contract. Right. So you're converting base salary into signing bonus, basically meaning it comes off the books financial. Again, just want to remind everybody, going to school to be an accountant here. All right. Starting to learn.
J2K said it's going to your head.
You can do. He's right about certain things. You can free up. They can free up about 50 million in salary cap space if they.
Correct.
If they do that, I think it's you don't. And I said you can restructure them, right? You can restructure them and have 0 cuts, and you can free up about 49 million with just Jalen Johnson's deal, with DJ Moore's deal, and Montez Sweat's deal.
Correct.
So you can kind of do those two. Those 3 will get you 49 million, over 49 million, close to 50 million.
Now you do restructures with Kmet and so Kmet and Edmonds, you have to add void years in order to make those work a little better, but those are 2 players that you could potentially extend again and remove those void years from because they're young enough, right? So you start moving some things around. That frees up, 15 million, I believe, and 12 million, I believe. So that's another 27 million. That gets us to the 77 million space. Now you go into DeAndre Swift. Now that's an extension. You can't rework that deal. You have to extend him in order to get this. That, comes with its own things.
Are you willing to extend the guy who's got how many years in the league? 6, 7 years in the league, and instead, draft a running back in the 3rd, 4th round to be his successor?
Right. And that's an option that has to be weighed. Absolutely. So if you choose to extend him, you're freeing up more cap space for now and possibly even more for the future. It's a tricky situation. It's all penny pushing. It's all number crunching. It's all bean counting at the end of the day. The Bears can free up a lot of space. I know it looks like cap hell right now, but by March 15th, this is going to be a drastically different situation. And we're going to be looking at the Bears as a team that could potentially go out and land a big fish in free agency or make a big splash trade and still have cap space to make more moves.
It's going to be dependent on. It's going to be dependent on to me what George and them are going to want to pay. Like because when you restructure those contracts and you convert some of that stuff, you got to convert it to signing bonuses and things like that. So do they have the money available? Are they going to be willing to come up off that money right now, right? Because you could always say, okay, we'll make that money and we'll pay them later, but and you don't want to kick the can down the road. That's what Ryan Pace was doing, kicking the can down the road, and then it all comes due. It all comes due later on, right?
Exactly.
So if you restructure these deals and you give them signing bonuses, you give DJ Moore some money out of pocket right now, you know what I mean? Even though he had his worst season of his career, yardage wise, that kind of sucks. I don't know how that. I mean, we got to get into that at some point too, guys, in the offseason, because that just doesn't make sense to me. He's played with inferior talent, and I don't want to get into it right now. But those are the three things. If you restructure those deals, do they have the money? Do they have the cash flow, the assets right now to pay those guys bonuses? That's going to be the biggest question. So they can easily do it and not be penalized or not be, not be detrimental to the squad. But George and them, they're going to have to pony up some cash, man, some bucks.
Exactly. All right. This is what Ryan Post said this morning about the challenges ahead.
More constraints, but at the same time, I don't think the process changes. You're going to identify the guys that fit what we want in our football team, which Coach hit, and you just keep trying to acquire those players. We know what they look like. We know how they act. They know how they talk. And we'll continue to do that. I think that's part of the thing is, one, can you self-evaluate and be critical of yourself and your team to make sure that you know what you have in the building? And then can you just keep pounding away and sticking to your process? You make tweaks, of course, but stick to the process of bringing in the right types of people, and it usually works out for you. I think when you see it across the league all the time, you panic and you want to do crazy things that everybody else wants you to do. It leads to some situations that you can't get out of. So we want to stay flexible. We want to stay open-minded. We want to stay committed to building this team the right way, because I think that's the best way to sustain success. We're always going to be opportunistic. We're going to go through opportunities that pop up and talk through them. And is this best for us short-term? Is it best for us long-term? And then we move from there.
So what I get from that is that there is going to be a conservative nature. They're not going to go after a Max Crosby, a Trey Hendrickson. I don't see them doing that because it destroys the plan. The plan is for sustained success, to make the playoffs every year, and then hopefully in some of those years you get all the way to the Super Bowl. If you start pushing salaries down the road, extending contracts is good, but the names that I'm hearing about contract extensions are not necessarily guys that I'd like to see playing for the Chicago Bears 4 or 5 years down. Mm-hmm. We have some serious problems right now, including the safeties problems, which Ryan Post addressed.
Like I said, we're going to take a step back and kind of evaluate that and put that puzzle together. It's actually 4 safeties that are not under contract for next year. So I got a lot of faith in our process that we'll do that. I think Kevin's a special player. I have no problem saying, that's a player that we would like to have back. But again, when you add the other safeties into that mix and all the other decisions we have across the roster, cap restraints, things like that, it'll be a challenge. But that's part of what we do.
Right.
That to me tells me that Jaquan Brisker's not coming back. You notice he didn't bring up his name at all. And that they'd love to have Kevin back, but I don't think they're going to be able to afford him unless they come up with some of Zim's accounting tricks. I just don't see the guy led the NFL in interceptions, and while he is 32, there is going to be a team that is going to say we need a safety that can get us 7-8 interceptions, and so there's going to be a bidding war. And I don't think Ryan Post is going to get into that. He didn't get into that at any other point. When he was looking for offensive linemen, he said no to McGlinchey, who ended up going to the 49ers because he laughed at what they wanted. He just laughed at, I'm not paying that much for a right tackle. And I think that's going to be the same issue here, over and over. And I agree with you, Zim. There are accounting tricks that you can do but I've seen it backfire so often with the Chicago Bears. Got to stick with this plan. It's got to be meticulously done. And the key thing here is drafting and developing players.
Drafting and developing, that's the ultimate collaboration between the front office and the coaching staff. You got to have a shared vision of what we're asking those guys to do. And then that commitment to the players got to commit to improving, but also the coaches pouring into them and getting them up to speed so that they can become pros is important. So that clear vision, clear collaboration between coach and front office, that's something that we got going on and we'll continue to improve and get better. But yeah, you can see it come to life. You can really see it come to life this year if it was the way Colson played to, Kyle. I mean, Kyle did a great job this year too. So that's a lot of coaching, once guys get in the building, and they did a great job.
That's the way this team is going to become great. It's hitting on draft picks, having another draft in 2026 like you had in 2025. One of the two starting safeties in 2026 is going to be a rookie. Bank on that. Take that to Vegas. Don't find a veteran. Hopefully it's Kevin Byard. Hopefully it's Brisker. I wouldn't mind seeing Brisker back. So they're going to bring in a veteran, but a lot depends on what the money is. But the biggest part of this is finding a good safety in this draft and developing him quickly so that he can pay dividends like Loveland and Manangai and those guys.
If it's
if I may, go ahead.
Last game, Brisker sure made a hell of a game, man. 14 tackles, 8 solo tackles, a sack, and a tackle for loss. I think he even had a pass breakup or two.
At least one.
At least, I think he had 2 pass breakups. I couldn't find it right there, but had a hell of a last game if it's his last game.
Now, here's the thing: can you name the last game that he took over and handled like that before that game? And that
he's played decent all season.
He has,
season. Yeah.
But has he played above replacement level? And that's the question that you really got to ask.
That's the question they're asking.
And unfortunately, he's starting to feel like one of those guys that plays well, but ultimately he's like the easiest comp I can come up with is Micah Hyde, former Packers safety who wound up to find great success with the Buffalo Bills. He was good, but not great. He was always around the ball, but he wasn't the guy making the play. And he goes on to Buffalo, and he continues to be that guy. And he continues to be a really high-level player for another team, not the one that drafted him. And in the meantime, the Packers went on to find Clinton Dix, and they go on to sign Adrian Amos, and they go on to find Darnell Savage, and so on and so forth. This team that we're intimately familiar with, as Bears fans. And we see the way that they operate, and it makes you think about the way that you operate, because in order to find this success, you have to start making priorities. And is bringing back a good enough safety a priority? And it's starting to feel like no. And this is a debate that I've been having.
You have to look at the premium positions on the football field, right? Safety is not a premium position anymore, right? On the football field, the premium positions are wide receiver. You need at least one that's high dollar, high pay, a left tackle, an edge rusher that's high dollar, high pay, and a quarterback, of course. You know what I mean? Those are and of course your left tackle. So you're going to have those. Those are 5 positions that you really desperately need. I don't think linebacker, middle linebacker, and stuff like that. That's why they went away from Roquan Smith. It worked out, people. You know what I'm saying? And safeties are very useful, but they're your last line of defense. You don't want to have great safety play all the time. Why? Because that means your 2 levels before them are not doing their jobs. So if you have really good, 1-2 level with the defensive line, linebacker levels, and then your safeties is your last line of defense, that's essentially what you want. So, what Ryan Poles said in that stood out to me is being critical, self-critical, being critical of the roster, being critical of yourself. You have to have legit conversations like we're having here tonight, right? Somebody said something about, I forgot what it was, but Tooch was like, it doesn't mean we hate him. You know what I mean? We just got to be
No.
honest about this.
Yep.
And that's what Ryan Poles is charged. That's the task that he has in front of him. Because from Bears fans, the fan base, sign this guy, sign that guy, sign him. We love what he did. Yeah, we love what you did, but can we find the same value somewhere else for about
This
the
isn't
same
Madden.
price? Yeah,
Man, this isn't Madden. And we're in a really tough situation as Bears fans, and an even tougher position if you're Ryan Poles, because he's the man actually pulling the strings on all this. You have to make a decision between your 32-year-old all-pro and your 26-year-old ascending player.
Mm-hmm.
And you basically have to decide what's more valuable to your team short-term and long-term.
And one guy has concussion problems.
One guy has concussion problems, and the other guy's
one guy is old. Yeah.
I mean, like,
You
for every
wonder how
pro,
long
there's a
Kevin
con.
Byard is going to be playing at that level. He's an all-pro, yeah. But we've seen guys take a dramatic turn. And if you're talking about signing Kevin Byard, he's not signing for anything less than maybe 3 years, maybe? Right?
Yeah.
That's his last contract. So
it's his last contract.
He's
So
taking
taking about
everything
3
he can
years.
get.
So it's exactly. So, you have that situation to think about, it's a lot that he has on his table, but
That's
I
it.
think
It's not
I think
as
he's
cut and
ready for
dry.
it. I like it. I like his mentality when he says, "Hey, we got to be we got to scrutinize ourselves."
Their top players definitely are some guys who you could rework their contracts. I mean, the largest cap hit on the Bears is DJ Moore, $28.5 million. It's 9.3% of the salary cap. That's his hit next year. Arguably,
did y'all see that picture I sent to the group chat there? I sent one. I don't know if you guys seen it, but I had them highlight that they're highlighted Jalen Johnson, DJ Moore, and Montez Sweat.
Montez Sweat's number 2 with $25 million. Jalen Johnson, $25 million. Joe Tooney, $21.5. Deo Dengbo, $20.5. Jonah Jackson, $19.5. Grady Jarrett, $19. And Tremaine Edmonds, $17.4. Those are your top 10 players. I mean, arguably some of those guys could rework their contract. You could extend. I mean, Joe Tooney's 34 years old. He played great, though. You could convert the rest of his contract into a signing.
Are you guys saying that 34 is old? Just for personal reference, I don't know.
I do want to say this. I disagree with Daniken about the value of safeties. There is a lot of value in the play of safeties, and I think the defensive backfield, their value, the entire defensive backfield has really risen because it's become a passing league. And you need to have safeties who are versatile, that can play near the line of scrimmage, who can also play center field and so forth. And that's probably the biggest thing against Brisker. He doesn't have quite the versatility that Byard does. And Byard doesn't have the physicality that Brisker does. So I wouldn't mind seeing a total renovation of the safeties, and making sure also that we have more than adequate depth at that position, because that's the key part about winning in the NFL. A 17-game regular season could be an 18-game regular season. You got to make sure you're using your resources, money resources, draft and develop, acquisitions through the waiver wire and so forth, to build great depth. And depth in the defensive backfield is critical. It almost killed the Chicago Bears this year when we lost Kyler Gordon, and what's his name came in, who worked with Dennis Allen before. And he was effective for 2 or 3 games, and then people learned that he can guard anybody one-on-one, and so they got picked on. But
I'll tell you what I would do if I was the Bears.
Sure.
I would let both of them walk, to be honest with you.
I think that might happen.
Yeah,
I think that might happen.
I hate it, but there's options that you have. Like the biggest option to me would be to pair a rookie with a guy who is slipping a little bit as a cornerback, right? So you get a guy who's slipping a little bit as a cornerback, you convert him to safety, a la Charles Woodson. You know what I mean? A la some of those guys that moved from cornerback to Jalen Ramsey with the Steelers. He went from cornerback. He's playing safety now, and it extends his career a little bit. You know what I mean? Things like that.
Yep.
And you could pair that guy with a rookie. There's a rookie out of Penn State, ironically, same place that Jaquan Brisker came from. And that guy is really, really, really good, man. Like take a look at it.
Yeah, I mean, there's Caleb Downs from Ohio State who's probably not going to be there, but there's a chance he slips all the way to you.
No way.
It's a tiny chance. It's
top 5 pick in the draft.
He's not a top 5 pick. He's a top 10 pick. But
top 10.
Top 10.
All I'm saying is Luther Burden was a top 3 pick. Luther Burden was a top 3 pick. All right, there's a chance.
Aldo makes a good point, though. Those guys are valuable. Those hybrid safeties. I think of Kyle Hamilton on the Ravens, a guy like that just makes a massive impact. And you can see on the Seahawks with Nick Emanwari, who's just that guy. I mean, if you watch the game, the Seahawks and 49ers, that guy was crushing people.
It's a great free agent class for safeties too. In all reality, I mean, you've got guys.
He's a draft for safeties too.
Reed Blankenship, Geno Stone, Kyle Duggar. Kevin Byard is part of this class. Andre Sisco, Tony Adams. I mean, there's name after name after name in the secondary that you can go pick up. And, then you can go out and bring back a Jonathan Owens on a 3-year, $3.5 million deal for a guy who already knows your system and can play special teams. I would love to see Jonathan Owens come back as kind of a rotational piece, as kind of a special teams player. I think there's all kinds of opportunity at the safety position. For as old as he is, Jordan Poyer is a free agent. He could be your Kevin Byard. Yeah, he's old, but he can be a leader in that room, a guy who's been there, done that before, and teach these guys. Jabril Peppers, another one of those guys. Deion Bush, another one of those guys. I mean, there's players all over the place at the safety position, both young and experienced, that I think, you might give these guys an opportunity. Shit, you got DeMar Hamlin, a guy who can tell you about the playoffs and the afterlife all in one. And
wow,
Bears are in good shape in dead cap. They only have about a little over 500,000 in dead cap space, so they're not.
And that's huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
Let's try to keep it that way. You know, I mean, it's hard, particularly if you're close to winning a championship. You want to make. You want to make some moves then.
That begs the question, although the elephant in the room
is
Super Bowl window open or not? Yeah, I mean, it's
I wouldn't be surprised to see him go all in over the next 3 years, create a bunch of dead cap space, and then all of a sudden in 2029,
is that how, I mean, that begs the question: is that how it's done in this NFL? What do you guys?
I mean,
think?
it could be because in 2029 is when you have to pay Caleb, right? That's when his contract is up. There's no more 5-year
future.
Yeah,
that's the big question.
So mortgage your future for the next 3 years, and then in 2029 you get a fresh reset with your quarterback on a fresh contract, so you know what kind of cap hell you're dealing with over the next 5 to 10 years, depending on what kind of deal you sign him to. And frankly, don't be surprised if you see, and this might be optimistic thinking. This might be truly believing what Caleb says about winning a championship. But don't be surprised to see Caleb sign for under market value if he truly wants to win with the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he's that kind of player. I wouldn't be surprised to see him sign at that point in time, I'm expecting quarterbacks to sign for $60, $65 million a year. Don't be surprised to see him sign a $40 million a year contract. I think he might be that dude. I'm going to say I won't be surprised one way or the other. I'm being a little optimistic on all this. But at the end of the day, more short term, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see them put themselves in cap hell intentionally to try to go all in to win a Super Bowl within the next 3 years.
By the way,
I don't see him doing that. I don't see it. Go ahead, Alden.
I was just going to say, let's get Fitz into the discussion here. Fitz, how are you, brother?
Good. How are we doing tonight?
Good. I asked Fitz to hold his food review because we're going to hire out at 10:30 and to come in and just join the football discussion. Fitz, I don't know if you've been listening in, and if so, you want to add your thought as to, the the tough decisions that Ryan Poles has to make this offseason? Are you feeling confident? You think it's a big challenge? Zim seems to feel that by manipulating some contract stuff, we can free up tens of millions of dollars to get some missing pieces.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to be creative with the contracts. And this is really where Poles is going to earn his money this season. And hearing Ben Johnson just say, this season's over, we're not building off of this, we're starting over. That's pretty deep. It's very honest. It's very it's brutally honest. It's very deep. It just means that don't expect to see the same people out there that we saw this year, maybe except for Caleb. I don't think it'd be that drastic, but it's going to look different next year. And this is where we've talked about these first couple of years with Poles, whether or not he's done enough. This is really where he's going to have to earn his stripes this year, just to see what he does. And I think it's going to be playing with contracts and adjusting it. So it's going to be interesting.
Just something I want to remind everybody here, chat and co-hosts included. The Bears will be returning 10 of 11 starters on offense next year. Assuming they don't do anything weird with DeAndre Swift. Excuse me. Sorry, guys, I forgot to eat. I've been munching this whole time.
Just to be clear, Swift has one more year left on his deal.
Swift has one more year, but he's a cut/trade candidate, depending on how you want to try to free up cap space.
$8.8 million is really affordable for a player of how he played.
Yes, but you can free up.
Played at.
But you can free up 10.5 if you get rid of him. So there is an option to be weighed there. My point being that this offense generally is going to stick together. It's all about the defense, and that allows them to both pick and choose their players and with that pick and choose the contracts that they're giving to these players and to tailor fit these players to Dennis Allen's defense, who, mind you, never really had a super expensive defense down in New Orleans outside of 2 to 3 players. He, generally speaking, was drafting and developing, something that Ryan Poles has put a huge emphasis on so far. I really think that the Bears are in a position to succeed long term. It all just depends on whether they get that good luck in it all or not.
Luck plays a big part in people's success.
Luck plays more.
It's the luckiest Bears season of all time for me. I mean, they were like 4th overall in the NFL in luck factor. As far as things bouncing their way. I forget which stats agency or stat group measures luck.
Danikin's wearing his Cubs hat, which brings my brain to football. Tim Anderson's career, White Sox legend Tim Anderson, maybe one of the most iconic plays with the walk-off home run in the Field of Dreams game in MLB history. His career was basically ended by bad luck.
Oh, yeah, because he got knocked out by
No. That was a totally separate thing. That was not bad luck. That was bad decision making. All right. There's a whole other category for that. But no, I mean, when you look at it was like his batting average over expected or something along those lines, like how often your hits that should be hits land versus how often they're caught for outs. Like, this guy went from being a batting champion to leading the league in outs that shouldn't be outs. And it ruined his career. Yep. And that's a thing that happens in sports. Like, luck is a true factor in all of this. I mean, shit, we all just watched the 2025, 2026 Bears. We all know that luck is a huge factor in sports. So it's not like I'm saying anything new, but, it can literally end careers.
Indeed.
Oh no, the impatient bear. The Ozzie Trapillo injury complicates things.
Sure does.
You have the left tackle and quarterback on your team on rookie deals. I mean, now's the time to maximize the value of other star players by getting them in the building and keeping that playoff Super Bowl window open. The Ozzie Trapillo injury really was unfortunate. That's the anti-luck factor there. It was the bad luck thing that ended the season on a little bad luck note there.
And just real quick, this is what Ryan Poe said about that.
That's a part of our job. Really unfortunate because I thought he was coming along. I was looking forward to him getting this offseason. I don't have a specific timetable. I'm sure it'd be somewhere, deep into next year for the injury. So I had a good conversation with him. He knows this is part of his journey he's going to have to overcome. I got a lot of faith in him and our staff to get him back ready to go whenever that is. But specific timetables, I don't have that right now.
Deep into next year. That means week 10, 11, 12, 13. So, yeah, you need a left
tough
tackle.
injury. Yep.
Yeah, so essentially his season is done next year. I don't see, basically. I mean, if he is coming back, he'll be working his way back into the fold and kind of probably playing a backup role. So, and that's fine. I mean, I think they were going to give attention to left tackle anyway in the offseason. They had to. They have to, really. I wouldn't be opposed to them taking a left tackle early if you can.
The thing is that they've invested in this position already with the kid from Yale, and third round pick, and then the second round pick, Ozzie. Those are valuable resources that now you've got to replenish again by dedicating a draft pick or money in terms of a free agent to get.
Free agency.
Ideally, Jordan McFadden, the guy that played left guard against the Rams, he has a history at left tackle. Theo Benedict has a history at left tackle. Perhaps those guys can be developed into being starters so that we don't have to do again, draft another left tackle and stuff. And perhaps Amagaji is going to turn it into something. I don't know, but I just hate the fact that we got to draft another left tackle with a day 1 or day 2 pick.
Well, two of those guys are exclusive rights free agents, McFadden and Benedict.
Yeah.
Correct.
Let's play a quick game, guys. I'm going to throw out a name, and you tell me cut, trade, or keep.
Oh, I love this game.
All right.
Yeah.
Fitz, you go first. DJ Moore. Cut, trade, release.
None of them.
I'm sorry. So cut, trade, or keep.
Or keep.
Yeah. So,
keep.
All right. So, because as Zim pointed out, we could save a lot of money if about $12 million next season into the cap if you trade or cut him.
But isn't I saw somewhere if they restructure the deal, they can save some money too. I mean, maybe it's not that much, but as cutting him or trading him,
$12.5 million.
Yeah, he's 28, and it's like we're treating him like he's 38 and on his last legs.
No, but the thing is you've got Luther Burden. I think it was Danikin said earlier. You've got Colston Loveland. You've got Roma Dunze, and you got Luther Burden. Those are 3 outstanding pass catchers.
Great.
And we've got a 4th one already under contract.
Thank you.
Under contract, and you don't have any safeties. All 4 safeties on the roster have to be replaced. So you need money, and we don't have money right now. So those are the things.
Safety. Outscore the other team. That's how you win.
So let me ask one question, which when we're on DJ Moore, right? And that's the hot topic. Everybody has been talking about DJ Moore quite a bit lately, right? So
last route.
I'm of the mindset keep DJ Moore. All right. Can you tell me who had the most drops? Who had the highest drop rate on the Bears this year?
It was Roma Dunze, and you're going to try to tell me it's DJ Moore, but it's Roma Dunze.
No, it's Roma Dunze. He's number 5 in the NFL. He had a 12.3% drop rate.
And he missed 4 games.
And he missed 4 games, right? He's number 5. So in my opinion, while Rome is good and there has been some good things that he's done, he still needs some work. Luther Burden, is he ready to assume the role of number 2 or number? I'd rather keep him at number 3. Let him take over for Alama Zacchaeus. Bring somebody else in. I'm still of the mindset that Caleb Williams needs as many weapons as he can have right now. and we spoke a little bit about this before, and I've said it before time and time again. I've been saying it for a couple of years now, and people are kind of catching on. But what I see in the NFL now is that when your quarterback is young, you surround him with as much talent and as much weaponry as you can. And then when you have to pay him his money, you start moving all that money away. You start pulling guys away. But at this point in time, after 4 or 5 years in the league, he should be knowledgeable enough, and he should be cerebral in the art of football to where he can now make those players better around him. Right now, I don't believe he can do that because he's working on his parts of his game that he needs to work on. So you surround him with all this talent, keep that talent there. None of these contracts are absurd. Let's put it that way. The Bears on offense, they don't have absurd contracts. So I think they can keep all these guys. You can restructure DJ if you want to, save a little bit of money. Maybe don't save $12 million.
10% of the
cap. Maybe you save something else, and that's fine. You know what I mean? Yeah. But when you can have a guy at 10% when Caleb is on a rookie contract, when Caleb goes to getting his 25% of the cap, now you have to really start shaving off. You know what I mean? And I think that's what they're going to do.
Totally in line with you, man. By the end of next season, right? That's when DJ Moore becomes expendable, right? He's a mentor to these guys right now. He is the lifeblood of this receiving core. He is teaching every one of these guys what it is to be a consummate pro, because that is what he's been through his entire career. Never once complained about winning and losing. Never once complained about target share. Never once complained about his own statistics.
You talking about DJ Moore?
DJ Moore.
I don't know, man. $29 million for 50 catches, 682 yards, and 6 touchdowns.
He's going to go out there. He's going to teach these
players how it's done. Where was DJ after the Rams game? Why didn't he answer questions about the route that he ran and whether he and answer questions about loafing and stuff? Zim, where was he? What kind of
I don't know, man, but he did it at 17 other games this season.
I'll be honest with you. I think he might have been in concussion protocol.
Yep.
Probably.
Yeah, but that should have been shared.
But
they
why
talked about injuries at the end of the game. They talked about injuries that this player had concussion, that player had concussion. How come they didn't bring that up?
He got whacked on the sideline, man.
He's been there. He has been there for every time. Every time the media has had questions for him, this dumbass Chicago sports media that doesn't know how to ask a relevant fucking question, mind you, he has been there for them every single game. And the one time he's not, we're going to be critical of him because he just played in maybe the most defeating game of his career.
I'm not critical of DJ. I'm critical of you because you're coming up with fiction. You know, really, he has not been the consummate pro. He is not in the wide receiver room, and everybody
he hasn't
looks
had
at
a number one.
Where have you heard that from? Because none of that is true. That's fiction. I'm sorry. Where have you heard it from?
I guess to each their own, but I mean, right here on this.
No, it's not each their own, Zim.
We defended the body language argument. We defended
his best
the contract.
season was with Justin Fields.
Well, I mean, this was his worst year. How many
catches,
yards
682 yards. 682 yards.
Okay, so here's
it's
my
not
pushback.
$30 million player for me to me.
No, it's not 30 million. It's not 30 million. But here's my pushback, right? In this offense, we've said this time and time again that in this offense, somebody's going to shine this week, somebody else is going to shine this week, somebody else is going to take over and shine this week. So how can we at this point say that? And then turn around and say, well, yeah, 50 catches and that ain't enough.
And to add on to that,
Luther Burden had 2 more receiving yards than DJ Moore and did not play as much as DJ
what was
Moore.
Everybody's 2 biggest wins of the season? Like your top 2, like 1 and 2 game of the season wins. Like what were your top 2 wins?
Tom Brady said it in the show.
It was probably Green Bay in the playoffs and Green Bay rematch, right? Like, and who caught the game-winning touchdown on both of those games? Right? Was it not your biggest player in the biggest moment? That's worth $30 million. That's where DJ Moore makes his money. His numbers might not reflect that, but you know what he did? He fucking took this division back. He took the North and he didn't give it back. All right.
You'd like to see some more, right? And when you say $30 million, I always compare it to what other people getting paid, right?
They're gonna get stuff.
So you got $29 million. What are these other guys getting paid, and what does it look like at that point? Because we could just say, 10% of the cap, and everybody's like up in arms. Oh my God, up 10% of the cap. Well, he's worth that, and at the time he was worth that. He came off of a season where he scored 13. He had 1,300 yards, and you figure at some point it's gonna happen. But even, you look at Detroit. What's his name is force-fed the ball? St. Brown. Right?
Oh my God.
He's
Talk about a
force-fed the ball.
product of an offense. Oh my God.
He's
Thank you.
force-fed
I'm
the ball,
glad
right?
somebody else said it.
So you know what I mean? To me, that's bloviated stats. That's embellished in my opinion. So, I like DJ Moore. I like his game. I appreciate what he brings to the table. You wish that you've seen some more from him, especially in that last play of the game. But I think there's some mitigating factors to why it didn't work out the way that it should have on that last play. That's just my opinion. I don't know that for certain or anything like that, but it's just my opinion. I'm not trying to give him excuses.
No,
he said it was a new play they installed. And
they just have you have a team with so many weapons. This is not a situation where you have one and then a 2 receiver and then 1 tight end. You have 2 tight ends. You have 2 good running backs. You have 3 good wide receivers. Zacchaeus at one point was a good wide receiver where you know what I mean? I still think he's pretty decent, but I'm done with Zacchaeus. I've been out on him for weeks now.
Yeah.
After those drops,
we've all been there since I think the Baltimore game.
I hear what you're saying, but I just can't help thinking that the NFL's kind of aside from being a business, a numbers game, and 50 catches for 30 million is not going to sit well. They could say, well, we can replacement level, half that price and get 50, 60 catches from another player. It may be that more. Has more.
What are you going to get from him then? If we value him that low, what are we going to get for him?
Yeah, you're not getting much. What we got him for.
Bears Twitter has told me that you can send DJ Moore in a second for Max Crosby.
Yeah. No, I doubt it. What would you get for
DJ Moore? Is getting $27 million.
With that contract, you're getting a 4th round pick.
Yeah, I completely agree. A 4th round at best.
I agree with that, Tooch. I agree.
So
guys, that's why I think we let it ride.
Let's ask this question. We can. It just puts things in perspective.
Although you shouldn't have started with DJ as the first question of the game.
27 million, right? 27 million. So Jameson Williams get 26. He's getting the same thing as DJ Moore, basically.
They're paying Jameson Williams that much? Holy overpay.
26 million, 26.
Oh my God.
26 million.
If you really have it up for Detroit,
Jalen Waddle.
Jameson Williams is not that good, my guy.
Jalen Waddle is getting 28 million.
That's the
T. Higgins, 28 million. Tyreek Hill, 30 million. Brandon Ayuk, 30.
Hope
30.
For.
Terry McLaurin, 32 million. Garrett Wilson, 32 million.
See, this is my thing. You just named all these guys and Jameson Williams. Like, they are not.
But I'm just saying. I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So it's like
statistically, it was his worst year since his rookie. It was his worst year since his rookie season.
Michael Pittman, Calvin Ridley. I mean, all of these guys are getting paid a lot of money now. You know what I mean?
The best you could hope for with DJ Moore is renegotiate his contract, and in his second season in Ben Johnson's offense, he steps up from 50 receptions in a year. So. That's the best you can hope for.
He's out there. He's going to be your 1B. He's going to teach. Luther Burden everything that Luther needs to know, because Luther Burden's going to be a top 5 receiver in this league. Period.
I would rather Luther Burden gets the ball more than DJ Moore next season. That's just me.
I truly believe that what's going to end up happening next season is Rome and Luther are going to be your outside receivers and DJ is going to be your slot receiver. And what's going to happen with that is Luther is going to end up with increased production. DJ is going to end up with increased production, and Rome's going to end up about where he was this year, even with that 4-game injury stretch that he had.
The hands of the drops for Odunze is perplexing. He finished
It's
his college
very
career at
confusing.
3.6% drop rate and was, that's 80th percentile in college. I mean, generally he was regarded as having like elite, reliable hands when he was at University of Washington.
And I'll bet you anything we see him and the other two guys, maybe even Loveland and Komet in there, all catching passes.
Everybody
down
had
in
the
South
drops.
Beach.
Was it the weather, the cold?
It was all season long, man.
You know,
they're all going to get with Caleb. They're going to figure it out.
Drops in this game. I don't know how many.
They had 6. It tied for their season high.
Yeah, 6 in the game. So
it tied for their season high in drops in a game. They're all going to go down to South Beach with Caleb. They're all going to. I guess Caleb's a West Coast guy, so they're all going to go out to California with Caleb. They're all going to go on the beach and they're going to catch some passes. They're going to figure out what it is that they're missing.
Williams, or don't they love to? I mean,
I don't know. He's a California boy at heart, though. I truly believe that.
He grew up in Baltimore.
That's weird.
He's a DC guy.
Yeah, he's a Washington, D.C. guy.
My point being that there's something that they're not
Baltimore,
getting. Something about his release, something about the spin that he puts on the ball, something about his velocity. There's something that they're not connecting on. And these guys truly want to win. They're going to go figure it out in the offseason. Drops will not be the same problem they are next year. You can bookmark it. You can put that around Twitter. You can highlight it, whatever you want to do. Drops will not be the same problem for the Bears that they were this season in 2026.
You know who's in that top 10 in drop rates as well? At number 8, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
Same class. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know, this guy can catch.
Jameson Williams drop rate he's number 4 at 13.2%.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Brian Thomas Jr. is up there at number 2 at 14%.
Dude, that boy did not want to get
and
hit.
He gets paid.
Year, man.
It's a lot of people that get paid, man, and you know, some of it also has to do with catchable balls being thrown by the quarterback too. We got to make sure that's the case. You got to look at the film to see that, though.
Mm-hmm.
If things aren't consistently catchable, you're a lot less likely to go for them.
I think it's important to identify the reason for the conversation is that they said, Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson both said today they have tough decisions to make. I take that as guys like Cole. They're going to talk about Cole Kmet potentially being traded or released, DJ Moore, Tremaine Edmonds, and DeAndre Swift. These are veterans that are eating up cap space. Good players, all of them. I like Tremaine. When Tremaine is playing well, like he did for about 8 games at the beginning of the season, he was leading the league in interceptions at one point. A good player. But those guys might not be in the picture solely because the master plan is sustained success. Not only being contending in 2026, but 2027, 2028, 2029. And in order to do that, you have to make these tough decisions. So as much as I like DJ Moore, and I really do, but I don't think he's a clubhouse leader or anything like Zim was pretending that he is. I would love to keep DJ and Luther and Colston and Rome. That's a phenomenal
There's a C
attack.
on his chest.
But you have to, you know, I look at Luther Burden and I think this guy is a star. Let's utilize that rookie contract and move DJ and get that $12 million so that you can pay a Kevin Byard or an even better safety and then draft another safety. Those are the kinds of things that they're going to be talking about at length. And I think it's important for us fans to recognize that because bad news is coming, guys. One of your favorite players.
So can I ask a question then, Aldo? If that's the case, if the idea is to let's utilize some cap space to go in a different direction at wide receiver, you're not signing Zacchaeus back. He's gone. He's out the door.
Yes,
right?
But what's he making?
So I'm not talking about his money, but then you let DJ Moore go. Now you're down to Rome Odunze. And you're down to him, and then you got maybe Jade Walker or whatever the case may be, right? So now you open up, you create another hole in your roster. We just talked about you got to have some depth. So You want him surrounded with as much talent as possible. I don't care, as long as we're winning freaking games. That's what I'm saying. We're not signing him back. He's done. He's out of here. So you're creating another hole. You already have one hole with Zacchaeus walking out the door, right? So you create another hole. You're going to have to go sign and use that money that you saved. Where are you going to get a $12 million guy from?
Mm-hmm.
With the $12 million that you save, are you going to be able to get another $12 million guy that's going to replace DJ Moore and be as productive with 50 catches for $12 million? Look up those wide receivers. Look up those wide receivers, the $12 million guys.
And then bringing in a new one to learn this system. This isn't the easiest system to learn, but from what people are saying. So you've got people there that know what's going on, and that has some value too. Get another rookie or I don't know. I think I kind of stalls the offensive improvement.
So let me start with you again, Fitz. I'll throw these names out. Which of these players are you going to move on from to hopefully pay the bills? Is it going to be? We already talked about DJ Moore. Is it Tremaine Edmonds, Cole Kmet, DeAndre Swift? Those are the top guys who are on the trade release block. Where do you start? Where do you go?
I think you start on defense because I think it's kind of set that we might not have everybody that Dennis Allen wants or the types of players that he wants. So you had last year was all about getting Ben's guys in on that offense. And it was almost like they bring in Allen to go, okay, we really didn't pay attention to the defense this offseason, so got to do what you want. I would think that maybe your defense might be the first place you start with just making adjustments before you even touch the offense.
Mm-hmm.
So Edmonds would be the guy of the people you mentioned.
All right, what do you
might have to let Brisker walk too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, he's not on the contract next year, so you're not saving any money. So he's Zim. Of the players that I mentioned, what are you thinking?
I don't know.
You're thinking extending guys and creating dead cap.
I'm trying. That's it. I'm trying to figure out how to maximize what you've already got. Mm-hmm. And I will say, I just looked into it. Guys that are about that $12 million value that Danikin just mentioned, Romeo Doubs is the first guy that jumps out to me. 2 years younger, longer, just as decent of hands. I mean, he's a completely different player, completely different role. Not expected to be your number one.
He's a choker. You don't want chokers on team.
I don't
want that stink on this team.
Isn't he the one that shriveled up and shrank back when Green Bay was doing it when that onside kick? I don't want that.
Missed the onside kick.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm just saying, when you consider the annual average, DJ Moore, Romeo Doubs, I don't know. Yeah. It's an interesting conversation to have.
I think that's a huge downgrade.
I think some guys north of the border would disagree, and I'm not saying that they're right or wrong. I'm just saying that I think it's a legitimate debate.
I tell you,
yeah, I agree.
If Olamide is gone, Khalif Raymond, who Ben Johnson had,
Khalif Raymond is a great option,
free agent,
but he's about twice the price. He's about twice the price.
It says his value is about $3.5 million per year.
And Olamide Zacchaeus, his number is 1.4. That's because his contract is about $1.4 million. So I don't know, man. That's so hard to say. I do think
getting rid of DJ Moore, I would take a look at Wandale Robinson. He's a free agent, had a monster year this year.
Yeah, he'd be a good one. Probably you need a true burner on this team, but no, I think Edmonds might be a guy that's gone though. As much as I've really liked him, as much as I love his presence in the middle of the field, as much as he makes things difficult as a guy to he's 6'8" and he puts those arms up and it's like, where do you throw the ball, man?
I'm telling you. I mean, it is a little depressing that he hasn't made more of the natural resources that he has, because he's an athlete. He runs. He's got great length. He should. He's got all the traits to be a top tier linebacker, and he just doesn't get. He can't get off blocks. I don't understand.
But a guy that you can get for cheaper, another guy that we're familiar with from up north, Quay Walker, is going to be a free agent. Quay Walker for $5 million cheaper. He's a little bit of a head case,
Packers on our team.
All right.
We can't sign Quay Walker. We can't.
All right. Well, let's
DeMarco Jackson is a
I
free
go a
agent.
different.
I think you got to re-sign him.
You got Devin Bush. You got Devin Lloyd. You got. I mean, you got a lot of guys out there that you got Nakobe Dean as a potential free agent that you could go out and get.
all Packers.
With me, I wouldn't. I'd leave Tremaine there. I leave him there. I think I don't want to create more holes, and that's my biggest thing is creating more holes, right? So here's the thing: with a building a roster, in my opinion, you should always have your next guy in line set and go. What is the position that you called out, right? You called out those positions. The one position where I feel like the backup is now ready to ascend to the starting role is running back. And while I love DeAndre Swift, I love him. I've defended him all year from day one when people were down in him in week 2, right? People were killing him in week 2 and week 3. And I was like, no, just be patient. He's going to work out fine. He works in the passing game and the running game. And it worked out. I love him. But at this time, I would say probably move on from him. If you were to move on from one of those players, it would be him, because you have a guy in Monangai, in my opinion, that is possibly ready to assume the number 1 role. And then you draft another running back like you did Monangai. You find one to pair with him, and you just keep it moving that way. And not only that, but running back is the position that has the least life, you might say, right?
Yeah.
Their careers are the shortest of all of them.
You can sign guys cheaper too. I mean,
Sweat played hurt this year too, man.
Go get
1,000 yards rushing.
Yeah.
I forget how many catches he had. He was fantastic this season.
He was.
Fitz, let me ask you this question. J2K in the chat room is saying, let's not pay too much attention to free agency and instead sign guys who are on the team and have them assume starting positions, like Daniken was just saying with DeAndre Swift. So, for instance, the name DeMarco Jackson, who had, according to PFF scores, had 2 of the best linebacker scores for the Chicago Bears the entire season. So, you do something with Tremaine's contract, you trade him or release him, and then DeMarco Jackson becomes your starting linebacker. You with that, Fitzy?
Well, yeah, it always seemed. It seemed like their defense got better when he was in there. Hard
to argue with that.
When TJ came back, like having him in there, and everybody says he's the captain of that defense, but the play seemed to go down, and I hate saying when a guy gets injured and gets replaced, it's better, but we all saw the second half of that Green Bay game. It was so much better than when it was there. So I'm all for keeping him around. If it means getting rid of Tremaine to do that, then I hate to say it, but yeah, you gotta. I would go that way.
I feel the same way. I would hate to give up on Tremaine. I think he still has his better days ahead. But given this salary issue that we have, DeMarco played well enough for me to feel comfortable about having him move in. I agree.
Yeah,
with
it's about
that.
getting Allen's guys this year. Getting guys that play well under Allen's defense.
Yep.
Well, and you've also got Noah Sewell. Granted, he's going to be coming off a torn Achilles, but you can get him for very cheap, and he's going to be 24 years old.
Yeah.
He put some meat on him.
Yeah. He was a guy who really showed up when TJ Edwards was out this year.
Yeah.
And I think he's a very valuable asset to this defense and special teams unit.
I agree with that. DeMarco Jackson, Daniken, you asked how many games did he play this year? He started 2 games, I think I'm seeing here, if I'm reading this correctly. But he played in every game, special teams, what have you, according to Pro Football References game logs.
Yeah, I'm just of the, I'm not saying that he's not where he needs to be or he couldn't assume the role. I don't know if the sample size is big enough for me to be gung ho with him being a starter yet.
Fair enough.
So,
That's valid.
Yeah,
especially
absolutely.
with a reasonably deep linebacker free agent class. I mean, there's all kinds of guys you can find out there that are at least replacement level or better.
I did a mock draft yesterday where I traded the 25th pick, this year's second round pick, and next year's second round pick to move up into the top 7 to draft Sonny Styles, that linebacker who is, oh my gosh, you put him on the Bears, all of a sudden they're not going to be able to run like they used to, and this guy is outstanding in the pass game. He would be. I would trade draft assets to get a guy like that, but that's not going to happen. So
I would never trade draft assets for an inside linebacker.
See, I think it's so valuable, though. I don't know.
I'm not saying it's not valuable. I'm saying that it's not that valuable. That's my thing.
I don't know if
the Bears got crucified less than 10 years ago for drafting Roquan Smith in the top 10. And despite his multiple All-Pro appearances, multiple Pro Bowls, the first $100 million inside linebacker, off-ball linebacker, we still kind of wonder if that was an overdraft at the position.
Yeah, I was happy when, first of all, I wanted Quentin Nelson, as everybody in the world knows. I wanted that left guard, but he didn't fall to that position. And so my second pick was Roquan, just simply because, again, he's a sideline-to-sideline linebacker. And in today's NFL, where quarterbacks are getting rid of the ball under 2 seconds to their running backs, tight ends, all those short patterns, you need a linebacker like a Roquan Smith, or you need a linebacker like a Sonny Styles who can stop that offense, because your pass rushers are not going to get to Jared Goff when he's getting rid of the ball in under 2 seconds. But anyway, I think this is a great discussion, and one that you guys are going to be having over the next several weeks without me, because I'm going to take some time off to focus on my rehab. Things are going well with rehab, but I have had some issues that I also have to address. And so getting to bed early is going to be important for me so that I can be ready to get up and go to rehab in the morning. So that's why I'm going to take at least the next 4 to 6 weeks or so off. But I'm really looking forward to listening and watching this show with you, Fitz, Daniken, Zimmerman, and Tooch. And I'm sure you guys will bring in guests, and the conversation will be even better than it was tonight, because you won't have me yelling at Zim. So
I'm so much less likely to bring up some dumbass points without you goading me into them.
I figured I wasn't going to pick on DJ Moore. Everybody loves the guy, and I love him. So I said to Zim, I'm not picking on DJ. I'm picking on you.
We don't hate DJ Moore. I mean,
I am disappointed in him.
We're just theorizing that 50 catches for 30 million ain't gonna fly next season.
We gotta be honest about it, man.
Yeah, we're just being honest about it.
Say something about that.
Yeah,
who's the leading receiver
on the Bears?
Colston Loveland.
Okay, what was the Bears? Okay, what was the Bears' offensive rank?
Like
4th overall,
top 5, I think.
Top 5, and our leading receiver was like 700 yards. That means the ball's getting spread. I mean, you don't need a 1,200-yard receiver.
That's right.
You don't need a $27 million.
I'm not complaining at all about this offense. This is the best offense I've seen as a Bears fan in my life. That's 40 years.
What would you rather have, though?
About any of these guys, I want them all back.
Would you rather have elite pass rusher or DJ Moore?
DJ Moore. I'm going to stick with it. I'm sticking
Yeah.
with DJ Moore.
Based on this season, DJ Moore, they could have won without an elite pass rusher. They were in the position to win, and they took an explosive shot when they really didn't need to on 2nd and fucking 8.
It wasn't the defense that got us beat.
It was
shout out to
second
both
down.
of those defenses. Both of those
Second down.
defenses were dragged.
They got
through the
greedy,
mud
bro.
that week. What?
They got greedy.
Yeah, but I mean, both of those defenses got dragged through the mud for the week. People are saying first 1 to 50 wins, and they both came out and balled. I mean, if you would have said the Rams are only going to have 17 points in regulation, no one believed you.
It's a little hard to put up 50 points when it's -2 plus wind chill or whatever it was at game time. Snow flurries.
He's a factor, though. Those defenses played well.
Hey, can I just say this?
Big shout out to Robert.
Yeah, shout out to Robert. Kyler Gordon is worth every penny that he's getting as long as he stays
That man
healthy.
is the skeleton key, man.
I mean, he affected the pass rush. He was guarding guys. I mean, he didn't have a great game in his first game back against the Packers, but you saw what he did against the Rams. And I'm not crediting the weather or anything. That was Kyler Gordon.
Yes.
Physical, nickel back. The guy is
the guy that can move to safety.
Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker, to me, they make me worry. Is one going to be as good without the other? That's where I'm genuinely worried, because I feel like without Brisker, Gordon might not be any good. And, we all saw Brisker was kind of meh without Gordon, and Gordon comes back and Brisker has the game of his fucking life. Yeah. These guys, it makes me feel like they're attached to and they were drafted in the 2nd round together in the same year. Oh man, it makes me so worried.
Kyler got an extension. Jaquan did not. Could you see them moving Kyler to safety?
Yeah,
still
actually,
come down and cover the slot from his safety position.
I mean, my first thought with this whole safety discussion was to move CD back there, but that involves re-signing him, and he might want more money. So what do you do next? You put Kyler back there. Can Kyler do it? I think he could be a box safety for sure.
Yep.
But is he more valuable as a nickel corner than a box safety? And that is, again, going back to the hard decisions that they said they were going to have to make.
Not only that, but you're paying him nickel cornerback money. You know what I mean? Which is a little bit more than what
it's more than safety money.
It is.
Yeah. I think he's one of the highest paid nickel
13.3 million. Yep.
13? I thought it was 12. God damn.
Cap hit next year, 13.3 million.
He better be healthy next year.
Yeah, I hear you. And that's
something that's going to come into all of these discussions is how available are you?
In the interior of the Bears offensive line, they spent money. 21.5 for Joe Tooney, 19.5 for Jonah Jackson, and 14 for Drew Dahlman. So I mean, almost 60.
Since you got that open, Since you got that
was worth it too. It was worth
$54 million invested.
Definitely worth it.
Yeah.
How much did they pay Dio on the other side of the line? Do you have that open?
14.5 million.
20.5 million cap hit next year.
25 guaranteed, 14.5 or 20.5 cap hit, 14.5 guaranteed.
We all did.
Next year he'll be the 5th highest Bears player, assuming he's still on the team.
He'll be on the team.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, you can't afford to get rid. I mean, they had plans for Dio. They wanted him to play from multiple positions, including.
What did Dio last? Like 5 weeks, 8 weeks, somewhere in that range. Like, man, he could have affected a lot more than he did if he'd been given the health to last the whole season. We'll see how it goes next year, but.
Man, Austin Booker has been a revelation in my opinion. I like his game.
Austin Booker might be the next Max Crosby.
Darnell Wright is under contract for next year.
He is.
I think so. 6.6 million.
It's his 5th year, so they'll pick up the 5th year option, and then Zim, you're sort of the expert on contracts now.
So next year will be his 4th year. And they'll have to pick up his 5th year prior to the year. His 5th year option. His 5th year option comes in at $19.5 million as it stands right now. Spotrac estimates his value at about $20 million. So his 5th year option will be about what you're expecting to pay him.
So, Zim, if you sign him to a contract extension, which he will be eligible for this off season, how will that? How do you have an idea how that will help the cap?
I don't know exactly how that's going to affect the cap.
You save money in the long run.
You save money in the end,
Yeah.
and you get your protector, right? The thing is, it's all going to depend on the structure, and it's all going to depend on the guaranteed money versus how many years it is and what the signing bonus is. I would expect it to be somewhere in the range of like 112 million over 5 years or something like that.
If you sign him, if you pick up the option and you sign him to an extension, you get to keep that option and tack on the extension, right? So you get him for a longer period of time. He's young, you know what I mean? You get him for a longer period of time. You also get him at a smaller dollar amount than what you would get him at if you waited until the end of that 5th year. If you wait until then, he's going to want more money. He's going to get more money at that point because it's either sign me to whatever I want or I'll walk out the door and I'll get whatever I want because he will be able to get it. He's second team all pro right now. You know what I mean? And he's
the other issue with him is he's a little bit older on the side of an expiring rookie contract. He'll be 26 and a half. So I don't know if you necessarily want to go a 5-year contract with him. You might try and aim at about a 4-year.
I would. Tackles, yeah, they can he can.
They play into their late 30s.
They sure
30,
do,
32, 33.
But they also fall off early if they don't. You know, that's something that you have to protect yourself against.
See, the thing with that guy, he's an athletic freak. And I expect that he's going to have a long and durable career. I will gamble on that. But you're right to bring up that concerns him, and I'm glad that you did. But I'm going to gamble on Darnell Wright. I think the guy is phenomenal, and he's only going to get better. Oh my!
Could you see him moving him to left tackle before the season with the Trapillo injury?
I hate moving positions, player positions.
Left tackle,
he's athletic enough to play left tackle.
Asking somebody to move from left tackle to right tackle is like asking your third baseman to play first base. Yes, the elite ones can do it, but it's an entirely different position.
The other analogy that I heard is it's a right-handed golfer playing left-handed because everything now is different. And
I don't think it's quite that extreme.
I can't play right-handed or left-handed, by the way.
Like personally, I don't think it's that extreme, but like third base to first base feels like an accurate like representation to me because while it's the same sort of position, depending on who you're going up against, the responsibilities are completely different. The movements are completely different. Your reaction wants to take you one way and you've got to be ready to go the other way. You know, it's the same, but it's different all at the same time. And that's why some guys specialize as swing tackles and some guys, you know, I'm a Sox fan. I'm going to throw it out there. Miguel Vargas can play first and third, you know, pretty seamlessly. Other guys like Aramis Ramirez didn't really translate to first base. He was a third baseman his whole career. Joe Creedy, third baseman his whole career, couldn't really switch sides, you know. Opposite, Paul Konerko, Derek Lee, guys who couldn't play the other side of the diamond. You know what I mean? Like some guys can do it, some guys can't. The guys who do it at the highest level often play a single position, and the guys who do it good enough or above average are the swing players.
Hey, could you do me a favor while I'm away? Please don't bring up the White Sox.
No, absolutely not. You know why? Because first of all, look, I didn't get to put this out there today, but the White Sox traded Luis Robert early this morning.
They did, right?
Yeah.
With my whole heart. Guys, I truly mean this. Fuck Jerry Reinsdorf. Oh my God. Oh,
what did they get from him?
Oh my God!
They got a pitcher
Luis
and
Angel
I forget the name
Acuna.
of the other.
Acuna's brother.
Yeah, they got Acuna's little brother who's known for being fast, and they got some right-handed pitcher, which like they didn't have enough right-handed pitching.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Lewis Roberts is going to win the Triple Crown this year.
They went out and said you can sign.
I thought Acuna hit like 4 home runs in a game the other day, didn't he?
He hit 4 home runs in a Venezuelan league game, which is the first time it's ever been done. Yes, but oh my God. Oh,
I mean, they had to do something, though, you know?
What do you mean they had to do something? They just signed one of the top Japanese prospects, and their response is to go offload an offsetting contract so that they can afford him. They now have the lowest payroll in the MLB. Like,
but Zim, did you read the article how they convinced Reinsdorf to sign that Japanese All-Star? They told him, we're going to get so many more international fans. And Jerry's response was, really? Does that mean more money? Yes. It's like they were talking to, I was going to say Donald Trump, but I don't want to offend Tooch. It's like they were talking to someone who's lost their mind. Yes, Jerry, wake up. Yeah,
they signed him to a 2-year deal. It's a 2-year deal. That money's all gone after 2 years. And guess what? It's going to take more than 2 years for White Sox fans to stop being pissed about Luis Robert. Let me tell you.
How is he still
Hey, the Sox are going to be another maybe 66 wins. What's the
75? Come on now.
66.
I put them at a solid 58 wins next year. 58.
All right.
Another 100 loss season.
Yes.
100 loss season.
Oh
yes.
gosh, 4 in a row? No, come on.
Breaks my heart. Breaks my heart. Yeah, and as Foster says, and they want taxpayers to build up a stadium. Guys,
of all the Chicago teams that deserve a stadium in Indiana, it's the White Sox.
Gary White Sox.
Gary. Yeah. Can't argue with that.
That's the line of the night right there. Yep. All right, guys, let's go around the horn. Final thoughts, final shout outs, whatever you want to say. Take as long as you want. We'll start with Fitz, my man, who next week will have a fresh restaurant review for us. What do you got for us, Fitz?
I'm going to give a shout out to you guys. Last week, Zim was trying to compare this year to 2018 with the Bears, what makes this year better. And I got to say, talking with you guys every week has made it that much better for me. It's been a lot of fun. And this was a great season and just some great guys to talk to and the people out in the chat rooms and everything. It was great. So thank you guys for this year and for having me a part of the ride. So
yeah, love you, man. Love you being on the show. You bring new perspective, and your restaurant reviews are always fun. And when we talk pop culture, you always have great recommendations, man. So thank you very much, Fitz. Zim, what do you got for us?
Man, I don't even know. It's been a great season, guys. Like
Zim changed hat again. 3 different hats today.
Oh, sorry. Hang on.
A good one, dude. Yeah, another one. What is that?
All right.
That's the cream sleeve.
Cream,
got a
oh,
cream sleeve hat.
What's that?
Is that a cream sleeve hat?
It is a cream sleeve hat. Yes, it is.
Okay, that's nice. That is nice.
Oh man,
that guy's really not a janitor there.
I have no idea who he is.
No
a lot of people thought he was a member of CHGO. I no longer think he's a member of CHGO. I think he might be the guy who runs kickflips and thrifts. The guys who kickflips and thrifts. Excuse me.
Makes sense.
The guys who made these hats as a way to push more product. But I mean, that's just.
I think he's a genius. Is what I.
Yeah,
whoever it is, that's 100% correct. He's a genius. He has captivated Bears Twitter this year.
He really has.
If that doesn't just like sum up the whole year in like a nutshell, like we are all so excited about this team that we're willing to believe some guy who claims he's a janitor at Hallis Hall, full well knowing he's not actually a janitor at Hallis Hall, but we're all just so bought into the disillusionment of it all. And like we're ready to hop on board with our fandom. And I don't know. I think that's part of the magic of this season for us all is it brought back that that feeling you get on Christmas morning as a kid, where anything's possible, where you can believe in whatever and it could come true. And maybe it does and maybe it doesn't, but that's what we all followed this year. And it's the idea that there's a future, you know?
Bullshit!
You, man.
He was on this soapbox. There's a future. I was going to try to find some music, whoa.
I had the impatient bear ready.
I don't know. For the first time in a long time, it feels like there's a real future for the Bears franchise. And I think that's why none of us are like as mad about this loss as we could be, because we all feel like we'll be back here again this year. We feel like 1 year from today on let's be real. We play
first place schedule though.
Well, you know what the difference between first and third place is? About 2 games. So who gives a shit? And I was looking at it actually. I'm pretty sure this year the difference is playing like the Eagles at home versus playing like the Buccaneers on the road or something silly like that. That's not it by any means, but the point being that first place versus fourth place it can swing wildly from year to year. Anyway,
who we're playing against next year is the AFC
East.
Buffalo
and New England. Yeah.
I would love a Charlotte Knights hat, by the way. For
that Drake May, Caleb Williams game is going to be fire.
That's going to be next year, yeah.
Josh Allen, Caleb Williams. That's the one.
Yeah. If Josh Allen might not be in Buffalo, he's
okay.
already clamoring to escape.
Brian Dable will be back there.
Yeah,
and
he'll bring back Brian Dable as his head coach.
My point being that on our show about 1 year from today, offset it by a date, January 20th of 2027, I firmly believe we'll be having just as positive of a discussion as we are tonight. That we'll be talking about a playoff team, that we'll be talking about a Super Bowl run, about Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson establishing a true future in Chicago. And that's ultimately what I think we can take away from this year. And as sad as I am to see it end, I am so happy that it happened and so happy that we get to experience it again next year. Because this does feel so different from years past. It feels so sustainable in a way that it hasn't before. We know the whys. We found our identity. All the things that they used to say about the team. It's here. They know it. There's no questions anymore. It's just about
never fucking give up. Never.
It's putting together the best team you can and going out and winning some fucking football games. And this can actually fucking do that, which is something we haven't had in a long time. So thank you to you guys for sharing this all with me this year. Thank you all in the chat for letting me ramble on about all this. To the handful of you still watching, and to everybody listening on the podcast, we can't do this without you. Shout outs to Kickflips and Thrifts. Shout outs to Tally Brand. Shout outs to anybody else whose gear I've worn. Cream Sleeve.
FGB.
Absolutely. And yeah, you'll catch us here all off season, guys. Just because the season's over doesn't mean the podcast is over.
But you're done, right now you're done
for now. Yes, for now. we'll see if I have another one in about 10 minutes or so. You better end the show before that.
They're not rants. He goes on tangents.
That's exactly what it is.
It's so true. I can't keep my thought. I'm kidding.
Tooch, can you make it at least 20 minutes shorter than what's in there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Are we taking a little break?
Start,
are we back next week? Or?
Well, that's your call. So.
Okay. Shout outs. Aldo, please get better. Fully better.
I will try.
That's my main shout out. Shout out all my co-hosts and stuff. And man, it was a great season. I know we were like, a step or two from the Super Bowl, and that hurts. But this team develops players. I like that. We never I mean, even Dominique Robinson had a good season, kind of. At least they had a good game last game, and that was a guy I'd like giving up complete hope on, just for an example. And then the chat room was fantastic, of course. All the barflies. Coming up with Bears State of Affairs was hard every week, man. But I was hoping to get a little break, maybe. Now that the season's over.
Maybe you take a break on Bears State of Affairs and just you guys talk for the next few weeks.
Yep. Yeah, and join me and Anthony and Sean on Friday. We're talking AFC NFC Championship.
Nice.
And after that,
weekend
Super Bowl,
sports betting tips. 6 p.m. Central.
Yep. And Barfly Tailgate on Sunday, where we're recapping the season. That's been a really great show this season. Barfly Tailgate, had a lot of fun doing Barfly Tailgate. And then hopefully we do some draft talk. It's a really deep draft. I'm excited about the draft too. So left tackle, edge rusher, defensive tackle, corner, safety. It's all real deep. I love it.
Sounds good. All right, Danigan. Final words.
Man, shout out to everybody here, everybody in the chat. We appreciate you guys. Man, it's been fun being here. It's been fun. I give my takes, and sometimes you agree, sometimes you disagree. I love it. I'd rather have it that way. I wouldn't have it any other way. Anytime you want to argue about something with the Bears, let me know. I'll engage you in most cases if I have the time. Shout out to everybody, all the co-hosts on here, Zim, Tooch. I mean, you guys do an excellent job with your analysis and your points you bring up. And Bears State of Affairs is always good. Aldo, of course, man, we appreciate you. You run this thing, man, and keep it rolling, keep it smooth, have bright ideas and everything else. And of course, Fitz, man, you got your pizza puff there, and I saw you put a pizza puff about the Jules had pizza puffs today.
Yeah, Wednesday.
You do this weekly to me because I can't get a pizza puff because I'm in Atlanta. You do this to me weekly, Zim, and I'm starting to be offended by it. You know what I mean? So,
come out here.
But shout out to you, man, for everything you do with the food and everything like that. It's always good, man. It's been fun, man. We're having a good time. We're gonna keep the thing rolling and do our best to keep you guys entertained. And thinking about the Bears, man. Football is 24/7, 365 nowadays.
Yeah. Indeed. All right, I'll finish it up simply by saying I'll be away, but I will be watching the show religiously, and I cannot wait to come back and talk football because, like you guys have just said, that I just said, football is a 12. It's kind of an 11-month game. They take 1 month off.
We get July off. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'll be back in time to talk draft and free agency, and really, my Wednesday nights have always a night that I look forward to because it's hanging out with you guys.
3 months from the draft, right?
Yeah, it's free agency is the second week in March, so we're talking 7 weeks. And so
a
lot
combine,
of
everything.
That's right. February is the combine, right?
Yeah, combine's in like 45 days, man. It's coming up. I think it's even less than that.
Yeah.
Well, at the Senior Bowl and East West Shrine Bowl games, those are the two major college football all-star games. Those are in 2 weeks. They're not this weekend, they're following weekend before the Super Bowl. So those are two big games to watch. But
is anybody going to Mobile for the Senior Bowl?
I'm not. I don't know if Danny is or not. But I wish I could go. I love going down there to Mobile, Alabama. They got the best massage spa places.
Happy ending?
No. Just kidding. Just kidding. By the way, Fitz, I wanted to tell you, my wife was looking through your videos, and she goes, "Wow, these are all great. But can you please tell Fitz to do a video about something that you can eat, and I'm like, he's not going to do a video on a salad bar.
Yeah, really. I was going to say the tofu palace.
True Greens or whatever that is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, but she loves your stuff, and she can't wait to meet you guys. Hopefully, we can all get together.
Is there
in
a
Chicago
food service pizza puff? Like, was it Gordon Food Services where they buy all their pizza puffs and deep fry them? Is that like what the restaurants do? Like Tom Tamale.
Oh,
like, you know, is there a brand
from El Taco?
From where? Del Taco?
El Taco, yeah. El Taco's the
El Taco.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like they're frozen or something food service for.
Yeah, that's where they come from. So, well, most of them. There are some that have knockoff pizza puffs. You know what they call.
Yeah. I was just wondering.
El Taco's the main.
I used to buy Tom tamales, you know, like big bag, and whenever you're hungry.
Supreme is better than Tom.
Supreme or whatever they were. Supreme
is not bad. Yeah, I like Supreme.
Boil them, and my son and I would eat tamale.
Yeah, I got some tamales in the freezer right now. I might make one because you guys just talking about food makes me hungry.
I know, I'm starving.
All right, so guys will be back next week, Wednesday. We're actually going to stay and talk around for just a minute or so, see if we're going to make some adjustments. Best way to stay on top is just to follow us on X or just subscribe to the YouTube channel. You'll get updates ever. Love all you guys, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Take it easy.